Welcome to the Bird Gang Nation Sports Media Show, repping the greatest team of all time. Let's go! Bird Gang 31, he be the host with the most. We going deep, burning teams. They ain't nothing but toast. It's Senior Estes. Sirianni put me in coach, running like Miles Sanders till I bump my head on the post. Touchdown! Yeah, that's coming. Devontae's crazy route running. Jalen hurting them, throwing lasers. The Rager Young gunning. Come on! On the D side, we ride, sack him with Fletcher, lay him out on the stretcher. No one can protect you. Watch Darius lay him, shutting down your routes. Come on! In my green John, eating Philly cheesesteaks. Put up your cups, wings up, if you can relate. Tailgating at the link like Gangsta Stride. To the Bird Gang Nation, that's worldwide. On Sundays, catch the pre and post game. Mondays is Birds on Broad Street with Philly Notion and Cool Cat, the man in motion. And Wednesdays, the midweek special got you open with JC from Eagles Talk, hitting like B-Dog, baby.
I told you I'm coming for you, I'm coming through you, either way, it don't matter. So clear the space like
welcome to another episode of Bird Gang Nation Sports Talk. I'm your host, Bird Gang 31.
Hey, why they so mad at you? A cock to the distance, no, I'm the raddest dude. Plus the flow is on point and it's tactical. Don't make my goons gon' get after you. Don't feel bad for that dude. Leaving behind, girl, that's what you had to do. Lord, say this is not something for you. It's the shit that got me going prehistoric. I'ma beat the people they been fiending for it. If you see the problems, I can ignore it. Dumping in the trenches, I've been bleeding for it. Go nuclear like you got nuke 'em. I rebuke 'em if they attack, then I juke 'em. Fuck 'em like Michael, I spook 'em. Hit 'em with the kids, I got I'ma bring it to the pessimist. Hope you niggas get the message. This is it for the pessimist. Killing demons like an ex of his passive aggressive is over. This shit for the soldiers and all of the warriors. Know that the battle is glorious. Until my whole team is victorious, bitch, I'm a monster. Bitch, I'm a monster. I'm saying, bitch, I'm a monster. If I snuck up in the bedroom and touch you while you sleep, you know it's me, yeah. I'm fucking with you, I ain't gonna get you out of this track. TCJ Mason. Niggas can't believe what I'm doing. I'm a man like a cow and 9 lives. Summer 18, they squeezing the 9, 10 times. In and these cats lost, but I'm starting hard.
Oh, Mike. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to another episode of Bird Gang Nation Sports Talk. I'm your host, Bird Gang 31. Today, Nation, we got a very special guest in the house. It's the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. J Tuck from the Cowboys side. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, my God, man? Thanks for having me on. What up, everyone in chat? How's it going?
Yes, man. I've been trying to get J Tuck for a while, guys. Last year, I was trying to get J Tuck. But we got him this year, and that's all that really matters, man. Hey, also, you guys, hit that like on the way in, and let me know. I'm going to put a poll inside the chat. Which intro you guys like best? You know what I'm saying? I had another one of my buddies do a song. He did a nice little intro for me. Let me know what you like, which one you like. Drop it in the poll, and, we'll play it more often. Mm-hmm. But, hey, J Tuck, man, let's get straight to it, my guy.
All right, let's get to it.
The biggest beef nowadays is hearing who's better, the Eagles and the Cowboys. The Cowboys won the division last year. We gotta give them their salute for that one. But
Mhm.
it's a new year, my guy, and we're a new team. But like, first off, before we get into it, let everybody know where they can find you at, and also give them your opinion of the Cowboys offseason.
Yeah, so everyone, you can find me on all social media platforms at jtuck151. My YouTube channel is CFO Sports. You can find me there, where I just don't post Cowboy stuff. I post a lot of stuff for teams across the NFL. Draft content is really kind of my specialty, so I do a lot of draft content. Broke down a lot of Eagles players that y'all kind of drafted, and also you can find me every Sunday morning here in Kansas City on ESPN Radio 810 with my guy Darren Smith on the ship. We talking all things sports, NBA, playoffs, baseball, the whole thing. So I appreciate all the support for everyone rocking with me. Now, to answer your question about this Cowboys offseason, right? I would say it's head scratching, confusing. A lot of people don't understand it. And I think that what to start off from the elephant in the room was letting Amari Cooper go. Now, when Amari Cooper's deal was signed, we all looked at this year like, okay, there's an out that you can get out in the 2022 season. Now, were the Cowboys really going to pursue it? We did not know, but I feel like once they drafted CeeDee Lamb, the writing was kind of on the wall, and you saw what kind of happened with Amari Cooper. His season was kind of but I don't think that's all due to Amari's fault. But there was a lot of rumblings about him not being vaccinated and wanting to be involved more. So I'm not sure if that's really just smoke, because that's the one thing the Cowboys front office will do. They'll kind of throw smut on their own players to get them out, so get the fan base to turn against them. So I don't think Amari
Deshaun
Cooper.
Jackson, aka Deshaun Jackson, Chip
Right,
Kelly.
right, right. So it's like I don't think Amari Cooper's that type of personality, but they kind of spun it as that. So we let him go for a 5th round pick to Cleveland. Then we let Lyle Collins, our right tackle, go. Now I don't think Lyle was a huge loss, but it was a loss to kind of sting a little bit, because you do have Terrence Steele, who kind of played his first season last year, but then last year him and Lyle shared reps. So that was kind of one of the situations. And then you had the whole Randy Gregory debacle, which I think was a critical loss, where he was
Yeah,
going to Denver. Jerry said, nope, he's not going to Denver. I want him here. And so they kind of freed up money to keep him. But there was some language in the contract that Randy Gregory didn't like. So he ended up just scrapping and tearing up the whole deal and going to Denver anyways. And so I feel like when it comes to the Cowboys offseason, we really didn't make any moves to fill that void. It's going to be more by committee versus instant impact. So we'll have to see how that transpires on the field.
yeah, man. I agree with you, man. The Cowboys are a good team. I feel like you guys lost a lot of pieces.
Mm-hmm.
You made up some pieces with some of the players you guys added to the team. You know, um, and we're gonna have to see what happens in this season.
Mm-hmm.
For my Eagles, man, I think we had the second back-to-back stellar draft. You know what I'm saying? Like, great draft from Hollywood Roseman.
Mm-hmm.
He did a great job with picking up additional pieces that we needed to make this team the team that we got this year. Everybody had a bucket list at the end of the season. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if the Eagles had this, and this, you know, we
Mm-hmm.
would really be a team.
Mm-hmm.
But we made it to the playoffs last year with a
Mm-hmm.
9-7 record, first year head coach, first year offense coordinator, defense coordinator, quarterback, first year star receiver,
Mm-hmm.
second year receivers in Jalen Rager and Quest Watkins. So it was a nice young nucleus of players learning
Mm-hmm.
football. But in their learning process, I feel like, they definitely shows you that they can play some football.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, with a 9-7 record, making it to the playoffs your first year when everybody counts you out. They looked at that 4-12 debacle, which I
Mm-hmm.
feel was a fluke season for us. Because if you look at the Eagles, we've been winning. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? We win football games. It's championships where we need to catch up on you guys with. But football
Right.
games in general, that's what we do over in Philadelphia. So I feel
Yeah.
like that bucket list was definitely answered. Just
Yeah,
awesome.
and I'm one of the slim few Cowboys creators that's kind of not afraid to say it. I feel like the Eagles had a phenomenal draft. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm a draft guy, so I do a lot of draft content. And like I said, next year I might put a paywall on that, because I feel like the Eagles was kind
Right.
of watching, and all the players I kind of broke down. Starting from Jordan Davis, I love Jordan Davis, also N'Kobe Dean, but there were some later players that you guys drafted in Grant Calcaterra, the tight end out of SMU. And I tell people, it's like if he did not have the issues with concussions, he might have been one of the top 3 tight ends off the board. So I think there's a huge
Facts.
value for there. And then also, I live in Kansas City, so I'm real close to KU. I'm actually a Jayhawk fan, national champions. Had to toss that in there. But Kyron Johnson, the linebacker out of the University of Kansas, I think is a phenomenal talent out there that has a lot of upside, huge motor. And then you guys came around undrafted free agency and drafted one of my favorite quarterback or undrafted free agencies in Carson Strong. So,
Yes.
I feel like the Eagles, the one thing that really helped you guys, and you kind of mentioned this, Spur Gang, is like last year, you were kind of trying to find what is going to be your identity. And I think they kind of figured out, you know what? We're just going to run the ball and try to play solid defense and muddy these games up. And I feel like now the Eagles have that identity and they kind of built off that in the offseason with adding Reddick and also adding some of these draft players. So it's going to be interesting to see how that transpires. Now, I know the huge question mark is the quarterback play, but I'll say this when it comes to Jalen Hurts, I feel like they can protect him a little bit more where he's not going to need to air the ball out 1,000 times. I know you got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, but I still think the Eagles are going to try the balanced approach. But if things do not work with Jalen Hurts, you can always move on and get your quarterback of the future next year if need be. So I think you guys are in a good spot.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's the one pro show that I don't want the Eagles fans to use. I know we got these two picks. I want all energy focused on this year.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about those two picks next year.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know that we got them. It's in the bag, but people don't realize though, if Jalen Hurts don't turn out right,
Mm-hmm.
we got like 6 to 7 other starters we have to fill next year.
Right.
So you said 2 draft picks, for 2 starters there. That
Mm-hmm.
still leaves you like 4 to 5 starting positions that won't be here next year.
Mm-hmm.
So the team's not going to be the same. What I've been noticing is like ever since 2020, like all the fan base kind of been skeptical of how much they really want to, back the Eagles this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying how much clout we're gonna put on the name of Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling everybody like we have to put all of it in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right now because right now is when we have this team on paper that's looking pretty good. Where the only weakness they say, which I don't even feel like it's that big of a weakness, is
Mm-hmm.
Epps. I'm not a huge Epps guy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
would I love to replace him with someone better? Obviously so.
Mm-hmm.
But do I think with the rest of the roster that we have established, especially on that defensive side of the ball, can he be serviceable? Yes.
Right. Yeah,
So
and yeah, I agree with you, and I think the reason why Eagles fans are kind of skeptical to go all in because the Eagles do better as the underdog role. Like they like to kind of catch you, blindly, not seeing you coming, and like kind of like last year, right? Because nobody kind of expected. They kind of had them hovering around 6 to 7 wins, and so the Eagles were kind of playing with house money and kind of caught a lot of teams and ended up making the playoffs. So when all these outside teams talking about the Cowboys and the Eagles playing the NFC least, I'm like, the Cowboys and the Eagles had 2 playoff teams out the NFC East, no matter how do you want to spin it. So, I think that's the role. I think that if you guys are the front runners where all the pressure starts to amount on you, that's a little bit different. But I think that's something that Jalen Hurts is going to have to live up to really prove that he's going to be that guy moving forward. Like it's going to come with pressure because I know a lot of people, and granted, I don't like to do it, compare Jalen Hurts to Dak Prescott, but people gotta understand, like Jalen Hurts was a
not,
2nd-round draft pick. You know what I'm saying? Like he was a
and it's
second
not
round.
even the same type of quarterback.
They're not the same type of quarterback, but the pressure is going to come with it. If you're playing the quarterback position in Philly or Dallas, sorry, there's going to be a pressure alongside with it. And so they're both really going to have to show up that they can live up to that measuring stick. And, Dak has kind of did it to a certain measuring, but I think Jalen Hurts' next step is kind of show that he can handle the pressure in Philly because, like I said, if you guys get out to a slow start and things aren't cooking with the toys and weapons that they put around them, the very first person they're going to blame is Jalen Hurts. So,
Yeah. And that's a fact, man. And I tell people, like, I thought the whole narrative of just because we got one receiver, we have weapons was kind of funny. Like, we got one new receiver. At
yeah,
the end of
but
the day.
but I
He does
think
open it up
Devontae Smith will.
for depth chart.
I think Devontae Smith will emerge. He's going to take a step forward. I mean, because he's built for it. And then you add
Well,
AJ Brown. You know what I'm saying? So, and you also mentioned Quez Watkins earlier, but then
mhm.
also, like I said, I think with the 2 tight end sets because you got to count in Dallas Goedert as well, and so that's going to be a bulk of your target. So I feel like with the wide receiver core that you guys put in place, it's Hurts friendly. It's not going to be these wide receivers that you got to stretch the field. Like you can just get AJ Brown the ball on the screen and let him do his thing. So it's going to be very, up to Jalen Hurts. And I feel like Jalen Hurts is going to use his legs a little bit more and just try to simplify things. But it's going to be interesting to see how much leeway you give him, because your fan base better than I do. He gets off to a slow start, them boo birds start flying, all that stuff starts to go on. So it's going to be interesting.
And for me and my fan base, I'm like, how you guys even hate on this guy at all? For real, like this is straight unbiased stuff. Truth.
Mhm.
It's like the guy every week you heard him breaking records. I know they're rushing records, you know what I'm saying, for quarterbacks and whatnot. But he was breaking records every year. He's a Pro Bowl alternate. PFF said he was sixth all time, and this is every quarterback to be in the league in production in the first year of being a quarterback. People miss throws. So everybody made a big deal about the whole I can't read defense thing.
Mhm.
You know, he's a rookie, not rookie, but first year starting quarterback. Todd Bowles, one of the best, defensive coordinators in the game. If
Mhm.
he can read your playoff defense, then you ain't doing your job, my guy.
Mhm.
That's how I looked at it.
Mhm.
He's not supposed to read it. Patrick Mahomes told you it took him 3 years.
Right.
Brady took some time. Peyton, it took some time. Reading defense is not just okay. We draft you, you come in, you start, you read it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's more like it takes time to understand what they're doing, why they're doing it to you. How can you see the field a little bit better? How can you see more of the field? Because it starts out with a certain percentage, and then it's up to you to grow that percentage out as
Yeah.
your career goes on.
Yeah, and I think the Eagles fan base is a lot like ours, meaning we're so big in capacity. You get a lot of pollution just in our fan base, right? Because the same thing happens with Dak Prescott. I mean, damn, the kid has came in from day one, and people forget like Dak Prescott wasn't even supposed to make the roster that year. He was probably going to be a practice squad guy. You have two quarterbacks go down, and then you just win the job, and you come out the gate. And luckily, we haven't kind of fell through the cracks do his tenure. But like some fans just isn't satisfied like that. And I think that's the same thing with Philly. It's like, you could have really crapped out with Carson Wentz, which you kind of did, and kind of just been stuck. But then you have Jalen Hurts, who is a more incapable quarterback. But it's like it's not exciting. They want to look. I want a Josh Allen. I want a Justin. Like they want the tricks and the hoopla versus just a player that can get the job done. And so I think that Jalen Hurts is that caliber of quarterback. But it's going to be interesting to see how long that leash is.
Yeah, I feel you on that. And to be honest, I wanted Dak coming out that year. As an
Mhm.
Eagle fan, I don't know if I even said it on another one of my shows before, but I wanted Dak over Carson just for the simple fact that I feel like they're on the same level of skill.
Mhm.
And I love the athleticism of Dak, before he got hurt, obviously, because since then he's
Right.
kind of not ran as much. But, coming out of that draft, I was like, the Eagles could really stock up their team in the first couple of rounds
Mhm.
and get them later, but we went all in on Carson, which, I love Carson,
Mhm.
the first year until you start acting like a little B.
Right.
Like, I'm not down
You
with
know?
that. Like, that's not respectable to me.
Right. And
Right.
I think that Jalen and Dak are cut from that same elk where the pressure doesn't get to them. So like Carson, he ran from the pressure of having someone over his shoulder versus people forget Dak Prescott had Tony Romo over his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? From the rookie season. I mean, hell, he still has Tony Romo over his shoulder. It feels like some of our fan bases still take Tony Romo back till this day, and so they really welcome the pressure and run towards it versus Carson Wentz was like, I don't want that smoke. And to be built for the fan base of the Eagles and also the Cowboys, you got to show that you're ready for the pressure, bro. Because if not, we'll eat you dead or alive. So it's just like, I feel like that's going to be the main difference from, Jalen Hurts versus Carson. Is like all the pressure, all the tabloids is about to come his way, ready or not, he'll be able to stand on it. So,
How'd you feel about Dak getting paid?
he deserved every penny. He deserved it actually earlier. And I feel like when it comes to the Cowboys, it's their own fault that they had to pay him that amount of money because they should have did it when Carson Wentz got his money, when Jared Goff got his money. They could have signed him for almost $24-25 million. But the Cowboys like to be more reactive versus proactive. And we're kind of seeing that right now with Dalton Schultz, our tight end. It's like they kind of franchise tagged him, wanted to hold tight. Well, here comes Njoku and the Cleveland Browns just ump the price like crazy. Now Darren Waller's like, I want my money. So the price is even going up higher and higher, where you could just sign him for a lot cheaper if you would have did it earlier. So that's the Cowboys' fault. But yeah, Dak Prescott deserved every dime because, like I said, he was a fourth round pick, wasn't even expected to make the roster, had to fight and scrap and really get it out the mud. And he gave us all that success for cheap. And then when it's time to pay, they wanted to play with his money. And, ultimately he ended up getting hurt. But I'm glad the Cowboys did the right thing.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? Like, I'm a big fan, regardless of what team you are on. You really got to get what you want to get out of the quarterback, especially
Mm-hmm.
in that rookie contract. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at the list of all the great quarterbacks besides Tom Brady, and we all know he took some friendly deals,
Mm-hmm.
with the Patriots to make sure that he had a team and make sure he could continue to win those championships.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you feel like the fact that they did pay Dak that contributes to some of his play? Like, people kind of compared him to, I heard someone compared him to like a Matt Stafford. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the numbers are there, but you don't have the wins, like the key victory wins in like big time football, to
Mm-hmm.
really be considered elite. Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing with Dak, because when you look at what Dak Prescott did, not only last year but 2019 before the injury, he was right on par with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, if you look at this year, he threw what, like 5 to 6 more interceptions than Aaron Rodgers, would beat him in every other statistical category, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we win 2 more games and we have 14 wins, you would have to have Dak in that MVP conversation. And granted, he also missed the game with the calf injury, so Dak was right on par. I feel like, yeah, I think that's the thing, is like you got to show it in the postseason. But hell, nobody had problems when Tony Romo was doing the same exact thing and
That
getting paid contract after contract after contract. So for these Cowboys fans who say Dak has to prove himself or win a Super Bowl to deserve he paid that money, well, if I don't see those tweets or those videos about the last guy, I just don't want to hear him right now. So we got to keep it consistent. So I think everyone knows the Cowboys had to move in the postseason. Like, that's not a surprise. Like, but that's not only just on the quarterback. That's the defense. Our defense hasn't showed up sometimes in playoff games. I mean, you go back to 2018, Dak Prescott shows up, plays amazing, comes back versus Seattle and wins that game. And then what happens versus the Rams in that next game? CJ Henderson, who I don't think is in the NFL no more, just ran the ball down our throats, and it's really on the defense. But of course, everything gets put on the quarterback's tab ultimately. So, there's a lot of things that have to fall in place for the Cowboys to really put themselves in position to get to ultimately where we're trying to go. And we'll have to see, because like it's a long season, and we're a long way from even getting to the start, man. That's the crazy part about it.
and another one, what I'm saying, I was wanting to get your take on was, do you think he is a guy that wills the team to win? Where the team needs him to win, or do you think he's more like, the team don't need him to win? He's just,
Yeah.
you need to put the
Yeah.
team.
And I saw that question on Twitter because a lot of people were tagging me, and I was like, can y'all translate this for me? Because any game and any Cowboys fan in the comments or can definitely attest to this, when Dak is off, we don't stand no damn chance, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you go back even through this season, right? When he struggled a little bit versus Denver, we lose that game. When he struggled a little bit versus Kansas City, when Coop and CD were out, we lose that game. So I don't know how the Cowboys can win games in spite of him. I mean, look at what happened in 2020 when he's out with the injury. You know what I'm saying? We was picking the top 10 right alongside of y'all. So what do you mean we win games? And you got to think about it, even from that 2020 season, there was a lot of games that we could have got blown out. Atlanta was one of the situations, right? But Dak roared back. And so, yeah, we absolutely need Dak to be at his A game. I just think that Dak, and he's also the same thing about Jalen. It's like, football fans, they want the sexy stuff. You know what I'm saying? But like, here's the fun part about it. If you look statistically as far as yards, deep yards, throws, Dak does all that. You know what I'm saying? But like, they'll gas up, Justin Herbert as the next walked on water, everything, but they don't ever add the fact that Dak went to, the Chargers and beat them last year. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it kind of comes with the territory when you play for Dallas, but also I think Philly is that you really don't get the credit you deserve. So
And even that just question right here is like, Dak was best with a great online and Zeke. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, I feel like it's the same thing, like you said, with Jalen.
mhm,
It's like none of these guys are coming in reading defenses that good. You
mhm,
use your mobility because you can do it, and you really carry on that. You lean on that run game, and if you remember, that was Zeke in the beginning was like one of the best running backs in the league,
mhm,
like period, hands down. I feel like because I have my own little myth about once you get the bag,
mhm.
you really see what kind of player you really got.
Right.
That do you got a player that really is about winning that championship, or do you got a player that's really looking to get that bag? And I feel like some players play do drop, and I feel like even with that getting the bag so soon, without winning any playoff games, without actually progressing farther in the playoff to get paid one of the highest quarterbacks, I personally feel like you need to make a cap limit on quarterbacks. Like you shouldn't be. It should be like kind of like the NBA. You know, you got a max contract if you're just a good quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Just all the starters for the most part.
Right.
If you're a good starter, you get paid a certain amount of money.
Right.
And then after that, like if you won, say you always win like at least a playoff tour game, now you got a little bit more money. You know,
Right.
and if you won a Super Bowl, then you actually get the big payday. And I really feel like not the Eagles, but the NFL needs to go to some sort of format like that because I do feel like as good as some of these quarterbacks are, like you're giving them the bag way too early.
Well, not in Dak's case. You gave him the bag way too late. You know what I'm saying? So the whole situation where Ezekiel Elliott was holding out, that should have been when you were focusing on Dak Prescott. Like you should have got him signed and he should have been your number one priority. But instead, they gave Zeke the money. They gave Jalen Smith, who isn't even on the roster anymore, the money. So they made other players the priority versus the quarterback. Because like I said, if you would have gave him the deal when Carson and Jared Goff both got their deals, he'd have been at 23, 24 million a year. And right now he's pretty much working for free. You know what I'm saying? So that was the Cowboys' whole stupidity by waiting so long. And I think the biggest frustration from Cowboys fans is that, all right, so you had Dak on this window for so long until last year, and you didn't just put all the chips in and just flood it with talent when you had that opportunity. So, I think that's the frustrating part. But like my guy Cole said, Dak he won in 2018. If you even go back to his rookie game versus Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, he went toe to toe with with Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs as a rookie, and our defense gives up a 3rd and 20. You know what I'm saying? And a first down to lose that game. And so Dak has shown and proved that he can win and he's worth every dollar. It's just the Cowboys, how they manage the money. So rightfully so, Dak is not taking a Carson Wentz deal after he'd been franchise tagged, played on the franchise tag and played on it again and got injured. Like, no, bro, I want this amount. Yesterday's price is not today's price, bro. I want everything. I want every dime. And his agent was willing to go the distance and it all paid out for him. So I don't think Dak is one of those players that got the bag and then disappeared and got lazy. That's just not his pedigree. So I'm not.
What do you think though? Like, well, and it's not even just the bag though. It's about when it was Zeke's show.
Mm-hmm.
Before you guys got a Cooper the first time. They say that Cooper's what really elevated Dak's play. Because I'm a firm believer that we're in the NFL league now, where you can't just have one good receiver no more. You got to have at least 3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 3 bona fide receivers if you're really trying to make it, a push for the chip.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the Rams last year with, Cup, OBJ, Woods before he got hurt, Van Jefferson, what I'm saying? Higbee at tight end, 3 running backs. Like you need kind of like a dream team nowadays to win Super Bowls. And we watched it get done the last 2 years with Tampa Bay and the Rams.
And so I know that, and even Cowboys fans has this weird narrative that Coop made Dak. Like that was not the case because think about 2016, Dak was the rookie of the year, and we had the number 1 record in the playoffs. I mean, in the NFC. So it's like, huh?
Oh, Zeke won it.
No, Dak was in a rookie of the year that year. Yeah. And so he, you know what I'm saying? So we had the number 1 seed. We played against Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. And so Dak did well without Amari Cooper. What happened was they didn't strip, Amari Cooper away, but they stripped Dez Bryant away. So he runs out there with Allen Hurns, Cole Beasley, and I think I forgot the other cat. You know what I'm saying? I know about, you know what I'm saying? So they stripped all of his wide receiver targets away because they moved on from Dez Bryant and didn't really fill that void. And so that's why they had to pull in Amari Cooper. I mean, rightfully so. We take Jalen Hurts out there and you're going to strip away A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and tell them go out there with, these 3rd string, 4th string quarterbacks and just make it happen.
We did though last year.
But see what happened was our scheme, when you're playing us defensively, we just got to take Zeke away. You know what I'm saying? They knew, so they were planning for that. So that's why Amari Cooper, of course, it helped boost the offense. But, I think right now is a different situation. It said, Cole said Deontay Thomas. Yeah. Do anybody know who Deontay Thomas? Yeah. That's who his wide receivers were. But this year it's a little bit different. Now it's kind of in that same capacity. Yeah. Terrence Williams as well. I forgot about Terrence Williams. He had the DUI. Same capacity, but this time at least you have CD out there. So at least you have a primary receiver versus a bunch of number 3 wide receivers are trying to make it happen. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all translates because Michael Gallup is coming off that ACL. So when will he really be back and fully emerge as himself? I think it'll probably be mid-October-ish possibly, maybe November. So in that meantime, you're going to have our rookie Jalen Tolbert. You're going to have James Washington's kind of unproven with CeeDee Lamb. You have Dalton Schultz back, but now I feel like Dak is more seasoned that he'll be able to definitely adjust and evaluate throughout the season until they get back.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was really wanting to ask you this one too. Okay, we've seen what happened with Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's last, 2 years with Atlanta. Was he with them 2 years with Ridley, I think? Right?
Yeah, because Ridley was what, 2017?
Yeah. So, but the year before Julio's last year, Calvin went off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got a presence like a Julio Jones on the other side where people have to respect for what he's already did in the league. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like Cooper, for instance. Cooper
Mm-hmm.
was a Pro Bowler. You know, he's a Pro Bowl caliber receiver. You know, do you feel like CD can be that Pro Bowl caliber receiver, or do you have any inklings in your heart to think that maybe he might pull a Kevin Ridley, and once Julio's gone, the numbers go down?
Nah, absolutely not. And the Cowboys fans who watch my channel know I've been saying CeeDee Lamb was our number one wide receiver the moment we drafted him. And, like I
But
was
you
out the
can't really
gate.
say that though.
Huh?
If he was a Pro Bowler, he definitely
But
got his
but CD was a Pro Bowler last year as well. And he was our number one in target. So, I feel like CD is just due to his opportunity. CD has every capability to be Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, all the other wide receivers that people talk about. He just isn't involved that way. And that's the real key when it comes to CD. You got to involve him in different ways. He's not going to be Amari Cooper where you can just light him out wide and just say, go do your thing. You got to run the screen games. You got to run, jet sweeps. You got to just get him involved, get the ball in his hands. Kind of like Des Bryant. Just get the ball in his hands and let him create. So it's really going to come down to Kellen Moore and the scheme about CeeDee Lamb. But as far as his upside, talent, ability, he's up there with anybody in the NFL. So it's just going to be like, how do they utilize him? And I feel like that was the biggest frustration last year is that you had Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, and Amari Cooper. And we're sitting back in the playoff game like, why is CeeDee only getting 4 targets? Amari Cooper getting 2 targets? Like, what's going on? So, you just can't have that. So you got to get him involved early. But I feel like, yeah, CeeDee Lamb will be more than fine being our number one wide receiver.
But do you feel like you understand where I'm coming from with this though?
Yeah, because I
When
know
it
a lot of
comes
people are
down
saying
to
that he's
it,
going to get more of the focus, right?
who's getting the number one cornerback? Because
Yeah,
not very many teams in the league got 2 good corners.
Yeah, but I don't think that a lot of the corners that people talk about, like the Jalen Ramseys or whatnot, they are going to have to match up versus Michael Gallup when he comes back. So when we play the Rams, he is our big physical wide receiver that you're going to need to match up on, because the one thing about CeeDee Lamb is he's interchangeable. He can play in the slot, he can play outside, he can play X, Y, all over the field. So it's like you can't just really match him up and just follow him and shadow him, because if you do so, I feel like Jalen Tolbert's going to have a good season, and also Michael Gallup when fully healthy. So, I think that CeeDee Lamb is going to be more than fine because he was getting coverage shaded his way anyway. So you go back and watch, week 1 versus Tampa last year, which is one of his big games. Like they had shaded coverage over towards the CeeDee Lamb's way. And so especially when Michael Gallup got injured. So, everything that, he'll see, he's already seen it. And people forget when CeeDee Lamb was in OU, who was the other wide receiver next to CeeDee Lamb? Nobody. CeeDee Lamb has been the number one target since pretty much he came out the gate. So he'll be.
Hey, but that don't work because you can say that about Hurts. Hurts did his thing in Alabama when he came to OU. Who was the second lead, like the most yards ever from a quarterback in college football history? It was like Jalen Hurts, and no one gives him respect for doing it. Then, like I hate it, even on the Eagles side. I hate when they come at me with the whole Alabama thing. I live in Alabama right now.
Okay.
I watch every Alabama game, my guy. Like Jalen Hurts was that dude. You know what I'm saying? Saban, there's a lot of other things that could even tie into it that I'm not getting into with, on this show.
Right.
In terms of like why Saban did it. Jalen just had. I would leave it at Jalen wasn't having the best championship game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And Tua was at the time a better thrower than Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
So he switched it up. The pull dominance, and he made the switch. The next year, Jalen comes in. He plays for Tua when Tua gets hurt,
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, hey, I'm not a backup. I'm a star quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go. So he does it respectfully. He plays his role the whole year, and he goes to OU. Then he blows everything out of the water. Tua got hurt, but even if Tua wasn't there, I don't feel like he would have had a better year than Jalen Hurts that year. Because
Right.
that was a determined man. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, he was determined to show you guys. You say, I can't throw the football? Really? What did he
Right.
do at OU with only one? And everybody don't realize, they always say, because he had CD Lamb. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
all these other teams have like 3 first round receivers, you know, 2, 3 first round receivers on
Right.
their roster. He only had CD Lamb. He made it happen.
He had
So
CeeDee
that's the
Lamb and
reason
he
why
had
it's
Grant
a big,
Calcaterra as
huge
well.
guy.
So like, yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, so that's
And
the thing. Like, yeah,
Brooks too, we got.
yeah, yeah. So like, yeah, so CD's seen it all, you know, and I've shown videos of it because be going to last year's draft. You know, a lot of people thought the Cowboys were gonna get Patrick Surtain, and when Patrick Surtain lined up on CeeDee Lamb, it wasn't. It was ugly. You know what I'm saying? So CeeDee Lamb has been in dogfights. He'll be more than ready to be the number 1 wide receiver next year. So I don't have any concerns about CD.
Like zero. You don't have no
I
concerns
have
of him going against number ones all the time.
absolutely
Like,
not.
it's the difference, Tug. You know, like that's why even this year I give Devontae Smith a lot more credit
Mhm,
than I feel like the national media would give him.
mhm,
Just for the simple fact that when Chase came into the league, with Cincinnati,
mhm,
Boyd was already established. Higgins already had a rookie year that he played some good football in.
mhm.
So he was really like third on that depth chart when he came in to become the star. And I'm not giving slack to any of these guys' talent at all when I say this, but it's like it's easier when you don't have to come in and be number 1. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? The best
Yeah,
receiver on the team. It's easier for you to transition into the game.
right.
Moving forward. And
Mhm,
then you look at even a Jamar Chase. I mean, not Jamar Chase. Justin Jefferson.
mhm.
He went in. Thielen was the man already. You
Right,
know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, you look at Waddle, they have Fuller and Devontae Parker when they drafted
Mhm,
him. Now, Fuller didn't play that much last year. But
mhm,
when they drafted him, he wasn't there to be like number 1 as soon as they
mhm,
drafted him. You know what I'm saying? Devontae was.
mhm,
He was the best receiver on our team from draft night. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? And we already knew that. So
Yeah,
that's a whole nother pressure in terms of you performing in the NFL. He had his bumps and hiccups, but I feel like him almost getting 1,000 yards is bigger than, at least some of these other guys in terms of how they were able to get it.
yeah,
What did Waddle get? Like 11, 1,200 yards.
right,
You got Justin Jefferson with 15, 1,600 yards. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Like, it was a different road to get there.
right, right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
And,
That
and, and it might be tough for City initially because the reason I said is it might not be a Michael Gallup out there as well. So it might just be only CD until Jalen Tolbert and James Washington, whoever's going to be the other wide receiver, can really become proven. But I think like as the season progresses, City's going to be perfectly fine. Like I said, he's going to move in interchangeable places. He's not going to be stagnant. So you're not going to be able to find a corner that's going to really travel, play outside and slot with them. They're going to have to pick their matchups. And then you look at Jalen Tolbert, who we drafted out of in the 3rd round, which is one of my favorite prospects, and they did a great breakdown on him early in the draft. Is like I feel like he kind of is built from that Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb mold. So it's kind of like double of the same kind of player out there. So it's going to be interesting, but he's a rookie though. So you can't just count rookies to be day 1 ready. So they're really going to have to be in sync, especially with this offense. So I think initially you're going to see the Cowboys lean heavily on their run game out the gate, which I'm excited for.
let's talk about those run game. Like I told you earlier in the show, Dak was my biggest fear every time playing you guys. I mean, not Dak, Zeke.
Zeke.
Zeke was my biggest fear playing you guys
Mhm,
back in the day. Like, that dude used to run people over. It's like you couldn't stop the guy. He did whatever he wanted, when he wanted to do it, how
mhm,
he wanted to do it. Now let's go past Zeke getting the bag.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? Since Zeke got that bag, his numbers have dropped
mhm,
to the point where even last year the Cowboy fan base split. Who's the better running back, Zeke or Pollard?
mhm.
How do you see that picture?
Yeah, and I think where you have to have that conversation is about the context because what happened was Zeke did get paid, but what also happened, right? Dak Prescott really emerged, and so they leaned on Dak more than they did Zeke. As the season progressed. Now, I feel like Zeke got off to a great start last year until he had the injury. Then he was kind of hobbled for some weird reason. The Cowboys kind of said, "Suck it up and play on it. That's the only way it's going to get better." So he was out there pretty much on one leg. But I feel like when it comes to Zeke, The main difference is we're never going to see that 25, 30 carry Ezekiel Elliott anymore. So I think what really changed is the philosophy under Mike McCarthy. Like, he really doesn't like to run the ball like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you're going to look to have a running back, you can give 10 to 15 carries and still get your 100. It's going to fit Tony Pollard a lot more than it's going to fit Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott's that sledgehammer where, like, you're wear down in the fourth quarter. It's just boom, 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 3 yards, first down, 4 yards, 2 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wears you down, but will they really give him that opportunity? Now, me personally, I think that needs to be the case where I've been preaching, where Ezekiel Elliott's kind of your wild thing, your closer, and you let Tony Pollard be your shifty, your running back. You get him involved out in space, screens, outside runs, zone reads.
So you want Tony to start.
Yeah, and Zeke to finish. Yeah.
Back.
And so, because the thing about when it comes to Tony Pollard, people forget he played wide receiver when he was at Memphis. So you can flex him out wide, have Zeke out on the field at the same time. And they showed glimpses of it last year, but they just never commit to it. So you're going to have to be a lot more creative when it comes to using Zeke and Tony Pollard versus you line up his first down, it's a dive, Zeke is stopped for 1 yard. Now you're just passing. Like, that's how it's been so predictable. Like, you need to kind of hit these angles in different ways and get the run game really evolved. And like I said, in that mid-third quarter, fourth quarter, that's when you feed Zeke and get the hell up out there with the win and do it the old-fashioned way. But I just don't think you're ever going to see where, again, we're going to look up on the scoreboard and be like, oh, Zeke had 30 carries this game. That's just not going to be him anymore.
So they're done.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Which is why you pay your quarterback versus your running back. But who am I?
Oh, you didn't like the Zeke getting paid.
No. I don't knock Zeke getting paid. I just felt like Dak should have been the main priority. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta pay your mortgage before you pay your light bill. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have your house first, and then you can pay your lights and your cables. Like I said, the Cowboys wouldn't pay a linebacker. They wouldn't pay, a running back. Like, no, you got to take care of your house. As soon as Tony Romo retired, it should have been like, all right, we got to sign Dak Prescott to be our quarterback of the future and do as early and cheap as possible. They kind of said, and we don't pay our cable bill yet. We a little late on the mortgage, but we can wait.
Right?
That interest went up.
Right. For sure.
Yeah.
With the Cowboys, man, do you feel like they got better or worse than last year?
I feel like they flatlined, and that's been my huge concern. I just don't feel like they made that move. Now, here's the thing, and I've been having this conversation with other Eagles content creators and other people in the NFC East. I feel like the Cowboys' biggest problem, which is I'm kind of excited about the offseason that you guys had, but also Washington and also the Giants as well, because I think Giants
had a huge draft.
Yeah, I feel like the Cowboys
had any food stamps. So
exactly. Yeah. So I feel like the Cowboys, what they kind of done is they rested on their laurels thinking, okay, well, we don't have to make no power move because we're still going to, even if, let's say Philly's going to win the division, right? The Cowboys are still going to be within the conversation. So that's where their mind thinking is. That's where their thought process is versus us Cowboys fans are like, why don't you push all your chips in to compete with the Rams and what they're doing and making these power moves across the NFL? Because you look at the AFC West, it's power move at the power move, and then they make a power move, and the Chiefs have a phenomenal draft, and then here come the Chargers making a more power move, like their focus is winning the Super Bowl. I feel like the Cowboys is just taking the NFC East for granted, like, okay, we'll be in the thick of things and we can still win it, but ultimately it's like, all right, what happens when you meet up with the Rams? What happens when you meet up or you get to a Super Bowl and you got to play this loaded Chargers roster? Like, can you compete with that? I think that's where the focus really needs to be. So I felt like coming off a 12-5 season, the way things kind of ended in the playoffs, you have your main infrastructure there. Like, just build off of it. If you would have gave me this offseason where we kept Randy Gregory and Amari Cooper, I'm ecstatic. Like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's get back to business. We're going to be perfectly fine. But it's like, now you got to kind of have that question marker where it's going to be like, I don't know. I can come on these channels and lie. I'm like, yeah, James Washington going to emerge and he's going to be that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can come and say Jalen Tolbert was the biggest steal in the draft and he's going to, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now you have question marks in the one area we can kind of just rest our head and be like, I knew last year you give me Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Gallup, our wide receiver core is cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got to worry about that. You know what I'm saying? It was more about the defense, but now my question marks are more about the offense versus the defense. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like the Cowboys, for me, I feel like you guys. I agree with your statement was. It's a flat line.
Right,
Because I feel like you guys lost some big pieces.
right,
Dak's good, but like I am on the boat of saying that the receivers help Dak because I'm just on a boat where no matter what quarterback you are in this league, you need talent at that position. And
right,
that talent at the position, you can make them better and they'll make you better at the same time. We've
right.
seen examples of years, like single years,
Hmm.
of quarterbacks, taking a subpar receiver group
Right.
and making them great.
Hmm.
Carson Wentz when he had 4,000 yards, and no receiver had over 500 yards, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's rare. Like it
Hmm.
will happen, but it's not the norm. You need to come hard. Like, do you think that the league has turned to the kind of like the NBA style to the point where if you don't go out and get all these top notch players in the offseason and in the draft, you don't have no shot of winning that Super Bowl? Or do you
No.
think it can be about, right philosophy, role players
Mhm.
win the Super Bowl?
I think it just depends on your coaching staff. So I trust that approach in Kansas City with Andy Reid and and Eric Bieniemy. I don't trust that approach in Dallas with Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore because we've seen it fail numerous times after times after time. So
Mm-hmm.
the Chiefs are kind of going through their transition where they lost Tyreek Hill, which is Weapon X, pretty much the biggest weapon in the NFL. But then you add in Sky Moore, they added Juju Smith-Schuster, they added some other players in the draft, right? I trust that Eric Bieniemy is going to find ways to get them involved, along with Travis Kelce. When it comes to the Cowboys and Kellen Moore, you couldn't even get your weapons involved. So if you tell me how you can't get Amari Cooper involved in the offense in the playoff game, but you can now get Jalen Tolbert involved, like that isn't, what I'm saying, doesn't as a register. So I think it's both ways. It really comes down to your coaching staff. Now, I think that Kellen Moore may have taken a step back because, we've all been there. You apply for job after job after job, you get denied. Maybe you realize you're not as appealing as you think you are, and you need to fix your resume a little bit. So maybe that's going to inspire Kellen Moore to be a little bit better. But, pretty much for us, after that Denver game, he could not get Amari Cooper involved. He could not get CeeDee Lamb involved. And, I just don't understand your thought process. Any other team, they get their star wide receivers involved. I went back and we watched the 49ers playoff game. First
Mm-hmm.
thing plays, Debo, boom, out the gate. You know what I'm saying? It's real simple concept. But when it comes to the Cowboys, you might be second quarter until you finally get the chant Coop, bro, you can't have that. So I think that's the huge question mark is our offensive coordinator, and are they going to grow, and what did they learn from last year?
What up, Drew? He says, question. Your thoughts on Dak being 1-3 in the playoffs in 7 years and not being a top three player on your team right now?
Yeah, I saw that top three thing. Skip and Shannon was talking about it. I think that's kind of weirdo behavior that comes off of PFF because what did they say, right? They were like, well, Dak's not top three because he has two first ballot Hall of Famers on his offensive line. Okay, that's enough. You know what I'm saying?
Tyron Smith,
Zach Martin, right?
Zach
And then,
Martin,
and then they put Micah Parsons over
Mike
Dak,
Parsons.
right? And they said, well, you can't win a Super Bowl if your quarterback isn't in your top three. Well, anybody in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Is Matt Stafford over Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, and Cooper Kupp on any of y'all lists? No. Exactly. So they just did it. So what are we really talking about? So, I get it. It comes with the territory. So, Dak isn't top three on his own team. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? But it's I feel like Dak is more than capable to get there. And like I said, if you ask me about Dak's playoff record, I'm not concerned because Dak hasn't been the issue. It'd have been different if, there might be some Cowboys fans that kill me for this. When it comes to the last guy, number 9, there was playoff games where I sit back and bro, you cost us this game. Your
Yeah.
3 interceptions, you're fumbling, all of your dumb decisions cost us this game, right? But I haven't really sat there at a playoff game where I said, man, we lost this game because of Dak. Did he miss throws and miss reads versus the 49ers? Absolutely. But like I said, we went back and watched the Families of Family, actually Saturday. Our offensive line, bro, was just getting dog walk. It was just bad. You know what I'm saying? We got punched in the mouth. And so it's you can't really put any quarterback in that situation. You go back to the Super Bowl a few years ago where the Chiefs played Tampa and Pat Mahomes, look how Look how he looked when he was running for his life throughout the whole playoff game.
Yes.
Like, you need protection as a quarterback. Like, you might have a mythical season, magical season when Joe Burrow was able to pull it off. But most part, if you guys go out there and Jalen Hurts was constantly running for his life and in the dirt, you more likely ain't going to win that game. So I don't think Dak is to blame for our playoff losses thus yet. So, like, granted, yeah, he needs to get over the hump, but I think everybody needs to get over the hump and play a lot better, in those bigger moments. And that's the whole thing. I think coaching needs to coach a lot better. Even our defense, they got off to a slow start because, 49ers came out, boom, 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 Debo, march the field, touchdown right out the gate, so it kind of puts you in that bind. So we got to get off the faster starts and just do better. But it's like, it comes down to coaching and, we'll see. But
What do you think about it, though? Are you more on the side of quarterbacks win championships or teams win championships? I'm huge on, like, I look at the stats. I look at all the, like, Tom Brady's an anomaly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not normal in terms of, like, and actually he did things early in his career to make sure that he had the success that he had. You know what I'm saying? Taking a little bit less money here and there to make sure that he had a team around him. But in reality, it's not real. That's not what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, teams win Super Bowls. Teams win playoff games. Once you make it to the dance, from that point on, it's 100% team. Now, regular season stuff, I do think quarterbacks can influence a lot.
Right.
But in terms of once you make the dance, it's about team from that point on.
Yeah. I 1,000% agree. I mean, you kind of look what's going through the Super Bowl. Like, it's the teams, like a quarterback cannot go out. He can't go out there and throw to himself. You know what I'm saying? So, there was only like one quarterback that I really saw that can really kind of just put the team on his back. And that was Mike Vick because of his run style. Like, he can just take the ball, hike it, and just make stuff happen. You know what I'm saying? But like,
biggest cheat code of Madden ever.
Yeah, he was at the cheat code. You know what I'm saying? Just hike, give him the ball, let him do his thing. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you've seen quarterbacks throughout history, and even the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? You go back to when Cam Newton got derailed by the Denver Broncos defense. Like, it is a team effort, and I think that's what the Rams really put together. It's just like, yeah, I think that's part of it. And so I would personally feel more comfortable going into a playoff game or into a Super Bowl with a stronger defense. You know what I'm saying? Because the defense is really going to carry. If you have a solid defense in a run game, you can be in the conversation because you can just slow the game down and, keep the game out of rhythm, right? But you go out with this high-powered offense and your quarterback gets rattled or he's off that game, it could change a lot. And we've seen it. Like I said, you go back to that game versus, the Patriots, the Bucks with the Chiefs. Like, you have the best quarterback in all of football, and he's running for his life, and you put up, I think, like 6.7 points and get blown out. Look at Aaron Rodgers, as incredible as he is. Won Super Bowl. Got beat by the same damn team that we got beat by and didn't even score, that many points. Drew Brees, the list goes on and on. So you definitely need more than just a quarterback to win at this level. So
do you think that the fans in general, like, they put too much on it? I feel like the Eagle fans put too much on how much they want to see Jalen grow. At the end of the day, Jalen's been Jalen his whole career.
Right.
Like, he's been a baller his whole life in football.
Right.
As a sport,
Right.
And yes, he needs to improve in the passing game, but you got to add, like, I used to always have the argument, like, people always just look at his passing numbers and say he's a quarterback. This is all I really want to look at. The other stuff is cool, but it don't matter. It matters. Every part of your game as a quarterback matters.
Right.
For me. You know what I'm saying? Like, the running matters, the passing matters. Like, we want them to get better, but, like, I feel like everybody wants it to be like a
fantasy football. They want the fantasy football.
Yeah.
Stuff. You know,
they
what
want
like,
4,000, 4,000 or 5,000 yards passing.
Right.
Like, or you're not a legit quarterback.
Right. Because they'll criticize Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott, but like I said, Justin Herbert, you know what I'm saying, he walks on water. And he didn't make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So, but he's the next heir apparent of everything. And he's the number one quarterback that everyone should be. And I'm just like, because it's pretty, because he throws a lot. Like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, when you look at Dak stats, he came out opening game versus Tampa and threw like 45 times for 400 something yards. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, are you not entertained? But I just get it. Like, it comes with the territory. It's just people have their favorites and they'll move the goalposts depending on their favorites, which it doesn't bother me. But it's just
like, said, what are we talking about then? I get it. Like, I feel like there's just been so many quarterbacks in the league. Like, everybody, who do you think is the GOAT? Who's your GOAT of all time? Out of all the quarterbacks you've ever seen, who do you think is your favorite?
Well, I didn't have him up there, but I had to put Tom Brady up there. But I had Joe Montana.
Joe Montana first. That's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, but
And even Brady, like
Brady.
I'm not even saying he can't be in a conversation because he's
Right,
won a lot, and it was smart of him to make those moves early to make sure he won.
right.
So you can't like slough the talent to like being smart. You got to add both of those together and realize why he's so great. And I do understand he is one that goes. My favorite of all time is Peyton Manning.
Yeah,
He was the first one to change,
right,
the whole game of the quarterback position where he was his own offensive coordinator.
right,
And like he did it changes at the line that no one could even keep up with.
right,
He got a lot of offensive coordinators paid.
right. Yeah,
Then they go to another team, they suck.
right,
They're not good at all because
right.
Peyton was changing what he do. Like, I think I watched a lot of college football back in those days. And I watched Peyton all these years in Tennessee. Even like I was way more bigger on college football than I was on NFL.
Mhm,
For a long time. To be honest, the game was faster. It's
mhm.
a lot more explosive. Back in the day, the NFL was more like okay, run, 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 nice
Right,
play,
right.
run. So I always knew from the moment I seen him pick up that football, he was the best quarterback I've ever seen.
Yeah, and he was so cerebral with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like watching Peyton Manning, like I would be like, it's kind of like watching Steph Curry. Like if he misses a free throw, you're like, oh damn. You know what I'm saying? Like when Peyton Manning would throw an incomplete pass, you're like, oh, what you know what I'm saying? What happened? Like it had to be the wide receiver's fault, you know what I'm saying? Because like he was so cerebral. And I think that he was the first one where people really understood the mental aspect of the game is just as important as the physical. Because even with Brady and also Peyton, like they didn't run the fast 40. They didn't have the strongest arm. Like they wasn't these magicians spinning the ball. Like, but they're just cerebral with it. Like even just watching Tom Brady when we played him last year, I'm like, bro, like he getting the ball out so damn quick. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just like every time
And
DeMarcus
that's why I
Lawrence
get
there,
so mad at like Eagle fans, like when they talk about Jalen, like, hey, he's not throwing 40-yard bombs all the time. Like, have you watched Tom Brady play?
yeah,
Like for
nah,
real. If you take that Moss season, like that's when he actually was airing it out
yeah,
because you had one of the best to ever do it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like Randy Moss, where you can do that with. But other than that, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady was just
He's just
10
surgical,
yard
man.
outs, 10 yards out, 10 yard out, 10
Yeah,
yard
it's
out,
just like it's just
7 yard
boom,
out, 10
boom,
yard out.
boom. First
Making
down,
like
boom,
nobodies
boom.
and somebodies just for
Yeah,
some back. I can't really say nobody. So Welker and Amendola on their previous teams were good.
right.
But like what's that Brown guy? Troy Brown,
Troy Brown,
right? That
yeah.
was his receiver.
Mhm.
The cats like that, like they never did good on any other team,
Right.
besides it. But that's why I say, do you think even with Tom Brady's success, do you think it was more Belichick or do you think it's more Tom Brady?
No, because he went right to Tampa and did the same exact thing, just that quick. You know what I'm saying? So,
Whoa, 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 whoa. Not the same exact thing. That's why I'd stop you. Brady's first three rings was not Brady.
right,
You know,
right,
he wasn't even putting up legit numbers like that
right,
for real. For real. It's a defense, running game, Corey Dillon, those guys.
right,
Falk and those boys.
right.
And then after that, like I said, after the Moss era is when you start seeing Brady's numbers kind of start going back up. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Tampa Bay made an All-Star team.
But think about this though, because remember
All-Star team.
they got off to a slow start. Tom Brady changed that culture there. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't understand Tampa was already kind of built, but Jameis Winston, and I'm a Florida State fan, so Jameis Winston was kind of that anchor holding that team down. But just that championship mentality, like when you have a Tom Brady out there, you're not out the game. Versus James, like if Jameis Winston was the quarterback that week 1 last year, we win that game. But even when we made the field goal and I was at that Tampa Bay game and we went up and there was 30 seconds left on the clock, I literally sat back and said, damn it, there's too much time left. Because I just knew, what Tom Brady was going to do. And so that type of, what I'm saying, that leadership, that fire, that encouragement, like it bleeds into the team when you start believing like anything is possible. Like I see that here in Kansas City with the Chiefs, like transition from Alex Smith to Pat Mahomes. Like Alex Smith, he loses that playoff game versus Buffalo. But they knew we got Pat Mahomes, bro. We still in it. This
Facts.
15 seconds left. We still in it. We got it. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I said that the real Brady impact comes from.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But I feel like at the same time, though, do you think if they made every single move that they made that year and they had James Wilson, they still win the Super Bowl?
No, absolutely not.
You don't think so?
Oh, no. And I love
AB, Gronk. I'm saying all the pieces,
Mm-mm.
from Fournette to Jones to AB, Gronk to JPP. You know what I'm saying? All these pieces together. It was a team sport.
Yeah, no,
You still
absolutely not.
saying Tampa Bay don't
Absolutely
win the
not.
Super Bowl?
Absolutely not. No, not with Jameis Winston. And I love Jameis Winston. Salute to J-Bo, but nah, absolutely not, bro. Can you imagine Jameis Winston trying to control Antonio Brown out there? Like, nah. When you throwing 30,
Whoa! But I'm
30
not talking
interceptions. What,
about.
what, what, what
I'm
did
not
J-Bo
talking
throw?
about. I'm not talking about Brady's leadership and impression on the team. I'm just talking about in terms of just quarterback talent.
Yeah, because you can't
Position.
win. You can't win at a high level with a quarterback who's throwing 30 interceptions. Like, you just can't do that. Like, turnover
5,000
margin.
yards though.
Huh?
He put up. Didn't he put up 5,000 yards?
Yeah, but he threw what did he throw? Like 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions that year?
Yeah.
Like, that
What did
turnover
Peyton
margin.
Manning do his first year? You
like,
remember?
no, like, no, they
16-16, right?
no, they not winning that Super Bowl with Jameis Winston. Like I said, I love me some J-Bo, man. Got 4 jerseys, but nah.
But I feel like that's pushing the narrow towards you need a dominant quarterback to win the Super Bowl.
You don't need a dominant, but you need a functional quarterback that's not going to create turnovers and costly turnovers. Like, yeah, so someone said he had 30 interceptions that year before Brady came in. You're not winning no games like that, bro. You can't. Because turnover margin is one of the most critical things. And that's why Dallas was kind of successful last year. You can't win games turning the ball over 30 times. And that's just off your quarterback. That's not fumbles and everything else. Like, nah.
Yeah, I feel you. What up, Philly? Mike in the building. I get it.
What's
I
up,
get
my
it.
guy,
I get it.
Philly, Mike, man? What's
I'm
going
just
on?
saying, like, teams win championships at the end of the day.
Yeah, teams win championships.
Like, you look at Aaron
Quarterback
Rodgers.
definitely
How many
help.
MVPs Aaron Rodgers got? You
Yeah.
know, how many games has Aaron Rodgers won with his arm?
Right.
How many receivers has he made?
But
he only won championship.
But they do help. They do help tremendously to get to that road because, like I said, you go back to 2016. If we're playing against Jameis Winston and he played for the Packers, we win that playoff game in 2016. That was an Aaron Rodgers throw who rolled out the pocket, was running out of bounds, and just threw a dot on the sideline. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's sometimes things that the quarterbacks can do, the league quarterbacks can do that other quarterbacks can't do. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with Pat Mahomes. It's just like he can run across the field on roll out to the right and throw across his body and still throw a dot. Like, that's just God given. You can't put that on every quarterback. If James Winston tries that same play, it's probably a pick six. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
So how much, if you had to give a percentage, how much do you think it has to be the quarterback compared? If you look at quarterbacks that won Super Bowl, let's talk about some suspect quarterbacks. You know, you look at the Trent Differs, Brad Johnsons. You know what I'm saying, of the world. You know, and I'm pretty sure everybody questions Eli. You know, Eli wasn't an elite quarterback, but he's a good quarterback. And he won 2. You know? So, how much percentage do you put on that? In terms of you have to be an elite quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
I don't think you need an elite quarterback, but I think it absolutely helps. You know, I think it's more about the team. You got to have a team. Like, I'm trying to think of the last team that had an incredible offense and a horrible defense and won it all. I don't know. Someone let me know in the chat, but I don't think of anybody like that. So it's like you got to have balance on both sides of the ball. You got to be able to create turnovers defensively, you know, keep teams in the game and not let them score high points. But you also got to have a team that can score high points as well. So it's like it's about balance. You can't just walk out there with an incredible quarterback and just make things happen and just win the championship. I just don't see that happening. You got to have balance on both sides of the ball. That's why it's critical, because people got to understand when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, people forgot like their defense really emerged because Pat Mahomes got hurt. So you need that extra, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's always been the problem, especially with the Cowboys. Until last year, it was like our offense is good, defense is trash, or our defense is good, our offense is trash. Like, they're never really in sync, you know, and you really need that to get to that high level. So
facts. I do believe it's a team sport.
Yeah.
I don't care how great you are as a quarterback by itself. If you don't got a good defense, like they say, offense put the crowd in the stands, defense wins championships.
Right. You don't need a Pat Mahomes to win a Super Bowl, but you're not winning one with no Ben DiNucci. So it's like, you know,
Brad Johnson, when Brad
and look how amazing.
You gotta think, even when Trent Dilfer won with the Rams,
they had amazing
the Ravens. That was defense that won a Super Bowl completely. Like Dilfer sucked as a quarterback. You know,
Yeah.
Brad Johnson sucked as a quarterback. They're not
Right.
even on the level of either one of our quarterbacks we got right now
Right.
in terms of like their play.
Right.
So that's why I look at it as like it really is all about the team as opposed to the whole. You know,
Right.
you
Right.
need this elite quarterback like, and that's why I try to tell Eagle fan like, don't expect him to put up 4,500 yards. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If Jalen Hurts, we had the number one rushing team in the league last year,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because of Jalen Hurts. You know,
Mm-hmm.
without Jalen Hurts, we don't have the number one rushing team in the league last year. And not just from what he did with his leg, it's just what he does for the other running backs that
Right.
also carry the ball.
Right.
You know? And people are like, oh, well, I want to see him stop that and become more of a passer. And
You
I'm
can't. You
telling you,
can't. You don't want to change their identity and make
don't
them
touch
something they're
that at
not.
all.
Right.
'Cause that is legit. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's what got him that Pro Bowl nominee. You know, to be a alternate Pro Bowl nominee because
Right.
his running game's legit.
Right.
Like his pass game is decent. Like I said, I can't ever listen to no one that says that he's not a good quarterback off of the fact that he produced the sixth most all time. Like, you know, like when you talk about little stuff like if Jalen Hurts was like the 2000 quarterback of all time, you know, in his first year starting, that's one thing to be like, okay, well, I need to see things happen this year. I
Mm-hmm.
need it. But when you talk about the sixth most productive quarterback of all time, how do you even have the audacity to say that what you need to see with this guy before you think he's legit?
Well, I mean, there's other factors that probably goes into it, but I just don't. I just think that these NFL teams and fan bases are not patient anymore. Like they want Pat Mahomes just like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like once again, like I said, I feel like Jalen Hurts is still growing and he's going to continue to grow. The same thing with Dak Prescott. But fans just, you know what I'm saying? They have their favorites. They want the cute tricks. They want the spinneroonies and all that sorts of stuff comes from their quarterback versus just a quarterback that's solid enough that you can trust, who's not turning over the ball and is playing at a high level. Like, you know, it just is what it is, man. But
What's your ranking? What's your opinion on Jalen Hurts?
I
I know
like
they
Jalen Hurts.
came out what they say he was what 25th or something like that, or
Yeah, I like Jalen Hurts. You know, I'm not
25th.
one
I
of those
seen
Cowboys
one
fans to
breaking
be like,
down.
Hurts suck. Like, you know, there was and actually I just dropped my very first video on that I recorded on YouTube and I put it on Twitter. And I was talking about possibly could the Cowboys take Jalen Hurts to kind of be that backup quarterback capacity. So, you know, I feel
Ooh.
like Jalen Hurts is kind of cut from that same elk as Dak, as I said earlier. You know, sometimes I'll make fun and call him kind of like the fake Gucci belt Dak Prescott. But I felt like when the whole thing was going on between Carson and Jalen, I knew that the locker room was going to gravitate towards Jalen a lot more than they do from Carson, just like I said earlier, because you know he's kind of cut from that. I'm not going to run from the pressure, and so when you have a player like that in your locker room, you know he tends to attach himself to other players as well, especially in Philadelphia. So yeah, I have no problems with Jalen Hurts. I think he's top 10 or top 15? No, but he can grow into that. I think you have to keep things simplified. Now, I think all Eagles fans, you're going to need to see a leap forward from him. He's going to have to emerge and do a little bit more, but I think he's going to grow, you know, but I just don't think Eagles fans will be patient if he doesn't get off to that great start. And like I said, with those picks next year, you know, it's going to be a hot topic conversation. So he has to produce at a high level this year. He can't backtrack.
As a Cowboy fan, though, do you think he will produce this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I do. And I think that some Cowboys fans are like, you know, that's the huge question mark when it comes to Philadelphia. But like I said earlier, I think Philly really found their identity next year. And now, if you guys say, you know what, we're going to come out and we're going to air this thing out 45, 50 times, then I might say, all right, y'all ain't, you know what I'm saying? That ain't going to be the game plan for y'all.
Like
But
you realize last year when we did that in the first 7 games, that was a
yeah,
mistake.
oh, yeah, I seen it. I
But
seen
that
it
was a
live in direct.
coaching mistake.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
wasn't a Hurts mistake.
Yeah,
Like the
because he
coach
tried to
went
make him be
overboard.
something he wasn't not. So I
Yes.
feel like they found their identity, and I would be foolish to think that the Eagles are going to come out and not commit to the run game, not play solid defense, and try to muddy up this game. I don't see the Eagles coming out trying to be this high-powered, high-scoring offense out the gate. Now you might do it because you're playing Detroit.
Last year I said 25 passes is good for Hurts.
Yeah.
This year, with AJ Brown, your best friend, I'm gonna say you need to go at least 30 passes a game.
Yeah, but I mean, but a lot of people get caught up in the numbers, right? Because if I toss you a screen, is that a pass or a run? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just an extended run. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think a lot of people get caught up, like, you know, pass attempts. So if he tosses 4 to 5 screens to Hurts, and I'm not Hurts, to Brown and to Smith, That's runs, passes, whatever. You call it whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's more just about being consistent and staying within the scope of what Jalen Hurts can do. I just don't see, you guys coming, like I said, and being full drop back pass, stay in the pocket, air it out, so on some Kansas City Chiefs, LA Rams type passing game.
What would be your ceiling for Hurts then? Do you
Uh,
think he can be MVP? Do you think he can lead the Eagles to the championship?
I don't think, I think it'll be hard to do MVP unless he really cuts up and has like a Lamar Jackson type year. And so I think his numbers will have to be like that way. Do I think that he can lead the Eagles to a championship? Yeah, absolutely. Because you guys just had Nick Foles do it, and he's 1,000 times better than Nick Foles is. So if your defense emerges, your run game is solid, that's 80% of the blueprint. Jalen Hurts can fill in the extra 20%. So it's like, I'm not worried about that. I feel like a lot of quarterbacks can do that if everything else falls in place. Now, if your defense is reeling and not playing as well or up to par as you guys think, can you guys just ride Jalen Hurts back to the Super Bowl? I don't think he's that type of quarterback.
Ooh. You don't think he's make a player better quarterback than the players make him better quarterback?
So to go
that's
back,
what I really meant with the earlier with Dak. I feel like Dak's more of the players make Dak better.
So going back to that mythical whatever that is, I feel like Jalen Hurts is the opposite. I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles can still win ball games without Jalen Hurts playing his best football. You did it last year. So I feel like, let's say, for instance, Jalen Hurts throws for, let's say, I know that's the hot topic, but when it comes to Eagles fans, right? The Jimmy G thing, right? Jimmy G can throw for 150 yards. But see, Jimmy G can throw for 150 yards and 2 interceptions, and they still win the ball game. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the Eagles have that capability where they don't need Jalen Hurts to be that game. I feel like Jalen Hurts can really just be, kind of like a game manager, and the Eagles have enough to really be competitive and, win ball games without Jalen Hurts. Like, if something happens with Jalen Hurts, knock on wood, he doesn't this season, I feel the Eagles will still be perfectly just fine. You can put Minshew in there and be right back to work.
I'm not even hating on Jimmy G for real. He's not 100% trash. I'm just saying, like, Jimmy G has been lucky enough to have his whole career with a good football team
and a good coaching.
I'm saying, like, when Jimmy G came in, that's why I don't give Tom. That's why I don't give Tom Brady the GOAT status, because when Tom Brady got hurt, even in the same system, you seen what was his name?
Matt
Castle.
Castle
come up and put 5,000 yards up on.
Yeah,
10-5 record. 10-6 record or 10-5 record. Without Tom Brady even planning down for that team. And that's the only gripe that I give on Tom Brady in terms of like why I don't consider him a GOAT. I consider him top 5 for sure, but I don't consider him the best to ever play quarterback. Are you the best quarterback? Do you have the most rings? Yeah. But are you the best quarterback, pure quarterback? I have to give that nod to Peyton Manning over him for sure. And then after Peyton, I give it to, Joe Montana. I can even throw in Dan Marino before I give it to Tom Brady.
All right, so how can you toss in Dan Marino, who never won anything?
Because Tom Marino had the most yards ever, before that just got broken in the last couple of years. Like, Dan Marino was that dude. Like, it's teams win Super Bowls, man. Like, I purely stick to that rule. Like, teams win Super Bowls, not quarterback. You can be a crappy quarterback and win. If you got an awesome team, you get not crappy, but average quarterback with an awesome team and win, a la Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer. Even like Manning to a certain extent, that defense was horrendous. Like, that defense was amazing back in those days.
They said the Brady slander as well. Like, I can't knock Brady, bro, because it's like, after that.
On that, because Brady, think about it.
I tried it, but it was that Atlanta comeback
one without Tom Brady. Like, really, think about this. Remember, Vinatieri won those games, and then Vinatieri went to the Patriots. What did he do? He won those games for Peyton Manning to win a Super Bowl right after that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he went somewhere else, and it shows you right then and there that it wasn't Tom Brady winning those games. Tom Brady. Vinatieri, all those field goals were like 40, 50 yarders. They were far field goals. That wasn't like Tom Brady drove them down, scored a game-winning touchdown to win the game. It was straight up, he got them in close enough.
Yeah, he got him in field goal range. He did his job.
Nah. if you're elite, man, you scoring touchdown like Montana. Montana, what undefeated in Super Bowls, never lost one.
Yeah,
That's respect. That's
yeah,
respect right there. You know, and
yeah. I
even
agree.
for and my boy Peyton, the only reason why I put him up even higher is just because it's like ever since even his rookie year when he went 16-16, right? He threw 4,000 yards. Like the dude never not threw for hella yards and like never not dominated the league in terms of stats.
Mhm.
So you gotta push him up there. Plus, he won 2 Super Bowls.
Facts.
One even though the Broncos were that team that year,
Mhm.
he won 2 Super Bowls without doing it. So that's just my thing on
I feel
Tom
you.
Brady. Like
I
I'm
feel you.
like Tom didn't show me enough. Like I watched Tom all 4 years, or it was 3 or 4 years in Michigan, and then the last year that Tom went to the pros, when he got drafted, they won the Rose Bowl. They didn't win the national championship. They won the Rose Bowl that year. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Well, he's back. He's back, and he's still a menace, man.
this
So
guy's alright.
yeah.
But Tom Brady, if you put pressure on Tom Brady, it's a wrap. That's why I say
But
Tom
it's not as easy as that sounds, bro. Like I
Tom
said,
needs a
like
team to win a Super Bowl. How many
they,
Super Bowls did the Patriots lose?
but
You know what
I'm
I'm saying?
saying,
Like think
bro.
about that. Like he lost a lot of Super Bowls, and not only that, he's not been a dominant quarterback. Like it's not just about Tom, my guy. Like it's about whatever team Tom is on. That's why he wins those Super Bowls.
All
And I
right.
really think it was more Belichick. I'm more of a Belichick guy than Tom Brady
Yeah.
guy anyway. Because I think Belichick, he is cheat to win. Any dude that's down to cheat to win. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Like this, he's down as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like Belichick would do whatever it takes to even
They've all
deflating the
they
footballs
they
to
they
win a Super
they've
Bowl.
also
Like,
played in the
wow,
AFC
really,
East.
guy? Like, who would have even thought? Hey, if I
They-
deflate this football, Tom's gonna throw a better spiral. And we can throw better passes. Like that's I'm that
Right.
guy. And if you do all that to make sure you win the Super Bowl, my God, I
Right.
gotta give you some love. I gotta give you some love there.
I feel you.
But but yeah, let's get back to these Eagles and Cowboys. I wanted to go through position by position with you. I
All right.
did this with Cole Cowboy. Shout out to Cole Cowboy.
Mhm.
On my show last time I had him on, and I want to go position by position because I know the Cowboys guys still talking spicy. They're about like, hey, we're still better than the Eagles. Regardless of what you guys did this offseason. And I don't really feel that way. I think this is our time to pump our chest.
Well, I
We're
think
King
it's kind
Konging
of
it out here.
well, we
Oh,
can do
what
it.
I'm saying?
I
Like
think
for
it's kind of
real.
premeditated because we don't know where our final roster is right now. But if we're going off today, then I would give the nod to Philly because of the depth position. And I said that when I had LB on the show. I think the Cowboys are very front heavy, but I feel like from a depth perspective, the Eagles have a lot more depth than the Cowboys do.
Okay, I like that.
You know
But
what I'm saying?
we're
So,
still gonna go through it for the
all
fans.
right.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna start a quarterback, and this is not quarterback in terms of like who has a better career up to today.
Mhm.
We're talking about just this is all gonna be strictly on going into next year.
Okay.
Who do you got?
I got the
Quarterback.
Cowboys quarterback.
Dak,
Yeah.
Prescott, and those receivers against Jalen Hurts and his receivers.
Well, now we're just doing the quarterback.
Yeah. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
if you take away Dak weapons, is Dak still that dude?
Yeah. He'd be
Okay.
fine. If I got
Okay.
Dak.
You know what? I'm not even gonna argue the whole quarterback thing with you
Yeah.
because Dak is a more proven quarterback than Jalen Hurts right
Mhm.
now. Do I think Jalen's gonna have a better year than this year? Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. But that's just my personal opinion. So
I
we're
got
not. You guys got Dallas. Dallas up 1-0.
you. Okay.
Running back. You
Running
got
back.
Zeke Pollard versus Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and Kenny Gainwell.
Yeah, I got Dallas at the running back position. Zeke and Pollard. I feel like will they be utilized as much as that your guys will be? Probably not. It really just depends. But I feel like as far as from talent perspective, I feel like the Cowboys have the lean towards the running back position with Zeke and Pollard.
I like the combination.
Because I feel like if Zeke went to Philly, he's the starter. If Pollard went to Philly, he's the starter. Which don't even get that into y'all head.
But do you
Uh,
think that? Do you think
yeah,
that for
yeah,
real? For
absolutely.
real? Like
Yeah,
that's how much
absolutely.
You think Pollard would start over Miles Sanders?
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
no.
absolutely.
They're not the same
Tony
running back.
Pollard is one of the
No,
best.
no. And Eagle fans mess up all the time, but like Howard. Forget Howard too.
I'm telling you, Tony Pollard
Miles
is one of the
Sanders
most
is a
dynamic
game
running
changer
backs in the
running back.
NFL. We're just
You
stupid.
don't want to break the record for most 80-yard runs if you're not a game changing running back.
Tony Pollard is a game changing running back. We're just stupid, bro. We just don't use him. That's it. That's it. Like, yeah.
I can't give you that.
All
I
right.
can't. But I would say overall running backs, you guys got 2, so you guys have 2 of.
All right.
Let's go to receiver. Who you giving it to?
Wide receiver, I'm going with Philly. And I feel like with AJ Brown, Watkins, and then also Devontae Smith, I feel like you guys got more depth in that position. And I feel like when it comes to the Cowboys right now, we got a lot of question marks, as I mentioned earlier. Plus, I don't know when Michael Gallup's going to return. So I'm going to go with Philly at wide receiver as of right now. Unless we got $23 million today, so maybe we might splurge a little bit, but I highly doubt it.
But even if you put Gallup in there, do you give it to him then?
I would still lean towards Philly. I think I would still lean towards Philly, even if you give me a fully healthy Gallup. So, because I think you guys got more depth.
Okay.
I'm taking CD over AJ Brown because I know it's a conversation.
Whoa!
Yeah, I'm taking CD.
Give
over
me CD numbers first. How many years CD been in here?
Just 2.
So give me his 2 first 2 numbers. What's his numbers first years?
But I mean, you can't do the 2 first years because his rookie season, he had Ben DiNucci and Garrett Gilbert as his quarterback, versus what he did last year. So I mean, you can go with last year, but I just feel like CD gives more upside.
But you don't think that AJ Brown being a Pro Bowler and 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns in the first 3 years is better than CeeDee Lamb?
I mean, because CeeDee's only been in the league for 2 years. Like I said, last year was his first
one less year.
But it was
only,
even
if you go let's go. What is that? 24 divided by 3 is what? 8. So we're looking at 16.
It was his first year with Dak Prescott, though. Like I said, it was his first year with Dak Prescott. So
okay,
yeah,
I have to give the receiver core.
Yeah, I give the receiver core to Philly.
Yeah, because I think AJ is the best receiver in the division. Like the other guys are good. I'm not hating on CD. I'm not hating on a Scary Terry. You know what I'm saying? Like those are some bona fide stud receivers for sure. Mm-hmm. And I'm not even hating on Devontae Smith, but CeeDee Lamb's proven. I mean, not CeeDee Lamb. AJ Brown's proven. He's done it 3 years in a row. He's been in Pro Bowls already. He's only 24.
Well, I mean, you can't say he's proven because he's done it 3 years in a row because CeeDee Lamb hasn't been in the league for 3 years, and this was his first year under Dak Prescott. But like I said, upside potential. So
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Upside potential is that he's only 24 years old. He's not even hit the prime of his career yet.
Yeah, but there was a reason why they didn't sign AJ Brown, and they let him walk. Yeah, there was a reason why.
Let's hear it. I want to hear it. Why do you think they didn't sign AJ Brown?
Because they went and got Treylon Burks, and they're going to include him in their offense to do the same exact thing if he gets into shape.
Like, I give it to that instinct of saying that they got King Henry, and he's the best running back in the league. And, like, he is their offense for the most part.
No, I feel like when it comes to AJ Brown,
receiver without Julio Jones, and he still had 1,000-yard season without Julio. And even if he didn't get hurt last year, you're looking at another 1,000-yard season.
Because, like, we can have this conversation even though he's gone. I wouldn't have said AJ Brown was a better wide receiver than Amari Cooper. No, AJ Brown is cool, but he's not that. Like, I think he's gonna be.
You don't think AJ Brown's a top 5 receiver?
Mm-mm.
Give me 5 names better than them.
You can go with Hopkins. You can go.
I don't know. Hopkins haven't even been playing really that much.
You got Hopkins. You got Devontae Adams. You have Cooper Kupp. You got Jamar Chase. You have Justin Jefferson. You have CeeDee Lamb.
See, how do you put Chase like that? How do you put Chase in front of him?
How do you put Jamar Chase in front of who? Jamar Chase? You mean Jamar, the gritty guy? How I put him in front
The
of?
rookie. How you gonna put the rookie
You
in
didn't see
front
what the
of
hell he
somebody
just
that's
did?
already been in a Pro Bowl and already been established?
You
That's
did,
how many people do you know have 1 year?
did you not?
1 year wonders. You think
Did you?
Jamar putting up the
Yeah,
numbers?
I agree with O said. I won't say AJ Brown's top 5. I'll say he's top 10. Yeah, he's top 10. You ain't taking, bro. You're not taking no AJ Brown over no Jamar Chase.
But I'm saying like the difference. You know why I like AJ a little bit more? It's because like a lot of these people in their top 10. If you look at the Adams, those cats like they're older, so we've already seen the best of them. We haven't seen the best of AJ Brown yet.
Right.
He was on one of the most run heavy offenses ever because King Henry runs Tennessee.
Right.
And he was still able to put up big numbers.
I feel you. But he ain't
That's my deal with AJ. I think AJ's we haven't even AJ yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not taking.
Of course you're not, because he's on your team now. I wouldn't. Like, yeah, you're not gonna take AJ Brown over Mark Cooper, bro.
And then even here, like I see Justin Jefferson, like I told you, Justin Jefferson came in a situation with Thielen.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill, duh. Like, yeah, this goes on and on.
Tyreek Hill is better than him.
Yeah, he might not.
I'll say Tyreek Hill. I'll say Adams for sure.
I'll take him over. I'm not a Michael Thomas fan, to be honest with you.
I would be if he played though.
Yeah.
He missed the whole season. I mean, that's what some of these guys is like. So they haven't.
Adams, Hopkins,
like even Hop,
Jefferson.
I like Hop.
Terry,
Hop ain't been that.
Waddle, Hill. Yeah, he's a
top 10.
He's pushing it. I can.
Now he's pushing Tim.
I could toss him in there just to be nice at 9 or 10, maybe, but nah.
Okay.
I mean, it was an upgrade. It was an upgrade for you guys, absolutely. But it wasn't like it didn't shake the room. Like, oh my god, like what I'm saying. Like if you guys would have got a Tyreek Hill or got a Devontae Adams, and I'd be like, oh, bro, like what I'm saying. What we got to do about this? Like it's AJ Brown. Like he's it's cool. All right, next.
Like you don't feel none of the whole him and Jalen Hurts being best friends has anything to do with football or in terms of how good his gameplay will be moving forward.
Nah, I think money was the ultimate motivator. So he's going to be motivated to come to Philly because he got the money, but it's just not,
Why you think? Why you think Adams went to the Raiders? And I know money too.
It's the money, bro. It makes sense that lines up with their BFF and all that, but it's ultimately about who's going to pay you. Like, like. But
you don't. That's what I'm saying. Do you think that translates on the field?
Possibly, or it can also backfire too.
That's a possibility too. Yeah. I get it. All right, so we're going Eagles receivers. You guys got running backs and quarterbacks. Offensive line. I mean, wait. Before we get to offensive line, tight ends. Dallas Goedert. Schultz.
Eagles.
Yeah. We're 2-2.
Schultz got me blocked on social media, man.
What?
We don't get down like, oh, right.
What'd you say to him? You had to say something.
Huh? I didn't say that. I dropped the draft video on Trey McBride, how he was my number 1 tight in the draft, and I would love to have him in the Cowboys, and then he blocked me. So
what?
It is what it is. No, I like Dallas Goedert. He's actually one of my favorite players that you guys have on your roster.
So now we're 2-2. Offensive line.
Offensive line, Eagles.
Okay. Defensive line.
Eagles.
Okay.
Are we talking about that full across the board, just interior?
Full across the board.
Full across the board, Eagles.
Okay. So now we're 4-2 Eagles. Mm-hmm. Let's go linebackers.
Cowboys.
Give me a reason why.
I feel like with the depth that we have with Micah Parsons, and Micah Parsons is the huge anchor of that, the kind of leader of that. So I give us Micah Parsons factor. LVE, who's been in the league since 2017. He's solid as well. And you guys kind of have some question marks. Now, you did just bring in Haason Reddick, but I think he's going to play defensive end for y'all. I don't think he's going to be y'all quote-unquote linebacker.
And that's what I have to say about Micah Parsons.
No, Micah's playing.
Let's talk about what really made Micah great last year. Let's talk about it for a second.
Everything.
It's because he was able to go anywhere you guys needed to and play the position.
Right.
You know, what really hyped him up even more was when he played DN. He was able to get those sacks, right?
Well, not
You gotta look at
necessarily.
rookies. Like, it's different when you're a stud rookie coming in doing something because, like, no one's really expecting you to be a dominant edge rusher and a dominant, linebacker. Like, moving forward, do you see the Cowboys using them at both, or do you see them staying at linebacker?
It'll be
Because
situational, but his main position will be the linebacker position. And Dan
Russian,
Quinn's already did that. And I think that was the reason why we drafted Sam Williams in the second round as well. So you're gonna have DeMarcus Lawrence, you're gonna have Sam Williams, you're going to have Dorrance Armstrong and some of those other guys in rotation. Chauncey Golston that was drafted last year. So I feel like Micah's main responsibility is going to be a linebacker for the main reason you mentioned is he's a chess piece, right? So it's easier to scheme for someone just coming off the edge, right? You can slide protect his way, do variation, different things in the up back his way. But when it comes to Micah blitzing from the A gap, B gap, off the edge, sliding back in coverage, chasing down running back sideline to sideline, you're going to want him at the linebacker position. Now, I said I would like them at edge, but we know the money's different. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay me different if I'm an edge rusher getting those sacks versus a linebacker.
but that's what I'm saying though, because I look at it like you guys got Michael Parsons, right? But we got Hassan Reddick, who is proven at that. The same skill in terms of getting to the quarterback. Like Parsons has, how many sacks he had? Like 11 last year.
Mm-hmm.
And Reddick has 23 over the last 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the same caliber linebacker.
Nah, don't do that, bro.
That same caliber linebacker.
No.
Hey, got you.
No, we not. No.
You.
All right,
the
next
same caliber
position.
linebacker.
We are not
Parsons
going to compare Hassan
and
Reddick.
Reddick are on the same level as of right now.
No.
Now, if Parsons does it again, then you can say it's better. But in terms of one hit wonder theory,
so just off
we equal out Parsons to me. I think we equal out Parsons to me with Reddick. Like that's the same. I would even say Parsons is a little bit better.
A little bit.
Reddick, right? Now, who's your other two linebackers you're starting?
A little bit better than Reddick.
Who the other two linebackers?
Even your Eagles people in the chat is like, no, Parsons talented, bro. It's Micah Parsons.
No, listen, this is
a little bit better.
Parsons at all. I'm talking about pure production right now, and he is a beast. Like, don't get me wrong, guys. Parsons is a beast, but Reddick is pretty good too. He's a Pro Bowler. Like, he's a legit established rush linebacker.
So you would think the Cowboys,
like what LB said, that he thinks that Dean can be a better linebacker than Parsons. I agree. Yeah. Because the simple fact is, we have Reddick. He doesn't have to play in. Dean doesn't have to play in at all. 0%. He don't have to
throughout his career. And he also said that he doesn't even think that Dean might start this year.
Dean's starting this year,
possibly. And I like N'Kobe Dean.
I think he is. Like in terms of like Dean is that guy we missed over the last since Trotter, basically.
Yeah.
That leader in the middle that's going to direct everybody where to go.
Right. I agree.
Do their thing, right? But I'm saying like
fair comparison in N'Kobe
and this
Dean,
is the part that I'm talking about.
Like, it needs to be at
Parsons does both good, right? But you got to make a decision on what you're going to use them as, right?
No, you don't.
I feel like
you don't.
If you guys use them as in, that's not linebacker. Like that's not linebacker. You can't really count as linebacker.
He's not really playing off at the end though. He's not a hand in the dirt line like in.
How many sacks you got last year?
You got 13 and a half.
13 and a sack. And how many of those came off the end?
I don't know. I have to break it all down.
Most of them, right? To be honest.
He gets sacks, he gets pressure, his tackles, like everything comes from all over the field.
And that's not a slight on them at all. What I'm saying is we gotta get a dude like that too and Reddick.
Well, then if you're gonna count Micah Parsons the defensive end, then give me my defensive line question back there.
Even if you put Micah Parsons on your defensive line, we still got better defensive line. Y'all don't got 8 good defensive linemen.
Because y'all just heavy on interior.
We have what?
Y'all just heavier in the interior,
Sweat
not the outside.
Is an emerging star at the end.
Who?
Brandon Graham made it to the Pro Bowl as a DN.
Okay.
That's 2 Pro Bowlers at DN right now. Sweat and Brandon Graham. And then you got don't even get into our interior defensive line. We already know
interior. So I'll give you the interior for our outside ends. Ain't none of
But
them Micah Parsons, bro. Put Micah Parsons back at linebacker. Our linebacker's better. All right, what's the next position?
But you're only saying one guy. What's the other two guys? Because I'm still going off, like I said, Michael Parsons edges over Reddick, but they're about the same player.
They're not the same player.
But they kind of are, though.
They're not.
They kind of are.
Just
They're
because
both
you're looking at
double-digit
7.5
sack
sacks.
linebackers, right?
They're not.
They're both double-digit sack linebackers.
They're not.
So you kind of got to leave them that.
So that's like
Let's go
saying,
ahead,
like,
but let's go after that. Let's go over that. We got White from San Diego Chargers, and we drafted Nakobe Dean. What's your other two linebackers?
Robert Quinn is the same as T.J. Watt then, because they both double-digit sack guys.
No, Robert Quinn's got injured. That's the only reason why he sucked.
But they're both double-digit sack guys, so you can't just do that because they had.
Did he have double-digit sacks with you guys?
Nah, bruh.
Did he have double-digit
sacks?
sacks?
He did. That's why he got his money in Chicago. So he's T.J. Watt.
But that's not have nothing to do with the Eagles Cowboys.
That's what you're saying.
That's what we're talking about. We're talking about Eagles Cowboys right now. I'm saying, like, you don't feel like I'm being fair when I say
no, not with Reddick.
They're both the same type of linebacker, but Parsons edges them out a little bit.
Not a little bit. You gotta take a little bit out.
Not a lot of bit.
A lot of bit. Whole lot of
bit.
If
you want to talk about all the sacks,
earlier, you just had a whole conversation saying that Dak wasn't our top 3 players on our team. Who was number 3?
Parsons.
Where's Reddick on y'all team? Is he number 3 on y'all team? Is he even top 10 on
a lot of bona fide stars on our team, though.
Okay. So would you put
different? We're a different team.
Would you put Reddick in the top 10 on y'all team? No, exactly.
Talent on defense, yes, for sure.
I'm talking about overall your team, bro. Like,
because we got so many stars on offense.
That's what
we got. Devontae Smith, we got AJ Brown, we got Jalen Hurts, we got Miles Sanders, we got Dallas Goedert, we got Lane Johnson, we got Kelsey, we got Landon Dickerson, we got Mailata. So of course he's gonna fall down the list a little bit farther on our team than your team.
So there's a gap.
Your team. You have to put them there in the top 3 because you don't have the talent that steps behind that shows that they're better.
That's not the case. Micah Parsons, linebacker. All right, so corners. Let's go to corners.
But you never really told me your other linebackers.
I said Leighton Vander Esch. We got Jabril Cox, and you can also talk to.
If you think both of those guys are better than Kazir White, who had an awesome year last year, and Nakobe Dean.
Well, no, Nakobe Dean's unproven. Jabril Cox is still unproven, but we got glimpses of it. Right.
Okay, so now we're basically going Van Der Esch versus White.
Yeah. And I feel like they match out each other. So I feel like the huge upside is Micah Parsons. Now take Micah Parsons out of it.
Your upside on Micah Parsons is at the defensive end, though.
No, it's at the linebacker, bro.
Because he had those stats. That's what makes him so.
All right, man. If that's how you want to fix the fight, we'll put Micah Parsons at defensive end. He's not a linebacker. And then I'll give you the linebacker to Micah Parsons. We got to X him out, right? That's what you want.
So you said if you give me the linebackers, you have to take the defensive lines,
huh?
Or are you going to go that if you put them at defensive end, you're taking the defensive line?
I don't know. Whatever you want to do, man. Whatever you want to do.
I'm just trying to be.
We can just take Micah Parsons out the equation because it ain't fair when you put him in there. So I'll
he is legit. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Parsons is the beast. But I'm just saying, like, you know what it is? Like, kind of like with Jalen Hurts. You know, he is a great runner with the football, but he's not that great of a passer. So that's why people put him where they put him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Parsons is a pretty good linebacker.
Pretty good.
Right? And he's great at rushing the passer. I give him that. 13.5 sacks ain't nothing to frown on. So it's like, I just feel like in terms of depth, in terms of the linebacker position, the Eagles have better depth.
That's it. You guys have depth. But there's a huge gap between your guy and our guy. You can put White and you can put Hassan Reddick and they can do the Dragon Ball Z fusion dance and they still not Micah Parsons. That's the problem. And it's going to be the problem here when we go to this next position too. But go ahead.
Let's go to it. Cornerback.
Dallas.
I mean, secondary.
Overall secondary? Yeah.
Overall.
Dallas easier than that. Yeah. Dallas.
Better safeties for sure.
Our safeties for sure. Trayvon
Diggs. I think we win.
Huh?
In terms of top 3 cornerbacks. Come on, no one. There's not even too many cornerbacks in the league that can be better than Slade, Bradbury, and Maddox. Like, I give you Diggs having an awesome year. I'm an Alabama guy too at heart. I love Diggs. I think he's a great cornerback. But I don't see Diggs doing what he did last year, this year.
Okay. I don't see Hassan Reddick doing what he did last year, this year.
What? But he's proved it. He's been consistent with that. That's what you can't
Right.
say.
Nah.
Because he actually have back-to-back double-digit sacks.
Yeah.
So
Secondary.
on two different teams, even
Secondary.
Arizona and the Panthers. So
Secondary
you
Dallas.
can't say that with that. That's why I was giving them a little bit of a neck and neck with Parsons in terms of like he's done it on two different teams. This the guy's legit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's still kind of young. So it's like that's why I gave him that. But in terms of secondary, I think the overall cornerback, Diggs is obviously got to be up there. Dennis Slay, Dennis Bradbury, but then you got Brown, and I think him and Maddox are kind of there. I think that the cornerback spot is ours, but overall secondary is yours.
Yeah, overall secondary. You said secondary, so you should.
Yeah. I'm giving you the secondary. I'm not gonna argue it.
There you go.
I'm not gonna argue it. You guys got the secondary, and then special teams. Jake Elliott's my guy, so I just gotta give him love.
Shit, I don't know. I mean, our punter is a Pro Bowl punter, but I don't know who our kicker is. We just drafted some kids, so y'all can have that one.
So what do we got? here? What's the numbers here? So we got. You say you're giving us tight end,
right? Line,
you're giving us receiver. You're giving us offensive line,
right?
Defensive line.
Yeah.
If we're not counting Parsons, we count Parsons. So we're gonna count Parsons as a linebacker.
Yeah.
We got defensive line.
Yeah.
And then special teams. So that's 5. So then you guys got quarterback, running back, linebacker,
and secondary.
That's secondary. So 4 to 5.
4 to 5. Congratulations, man. Congrats.
4 to 5.
Yeah.
Let's go coaches then. Let's see if we can spice this up a little bit.
Cowboys.
Who do you trust more?
Cowboys.
McCarthy.
No.
Was it Aaron Rodgers?
You said coaches. I mean, I'm talking about the whole staff. But no.
He's the leader of he's the captain of your staff.
I mean, is he?
Whoa.
I mean, is he?
You don't like McCarthy? Do you believe that it was Aaron Rodgers that won them that Super Bowl?
Well, no,
or do you think it's Scotian?
No, I thought he was talking about he's the leader of our team, which that's the huge question mark. Is he? We do not know, so that's the thing. We really don't know what does Mike McCarthy do, but you got to add, all the former head coaches on our team. You got to factor in Dan Quinn. You got to factor in George Edwards. You got to factor, with we have some talented coaches already in house. Mike McCarthy is just the face of it. You know what I'm saying? Like Office Space. I'm not sure what he actually does. He doesn't call the offense. He's not the coordinator. Doesn't work with the quarterback. He brought in another coach to coach the coaches. I don't know what Mike McCarthy does, but I think our staff is better.
How many more?
Our staff is more proven.
More proven. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. I like that. So you're looking at 5-5. So we're looking at split.
5-5.
Remember the team. 5-5, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Here we go.
So Cole Cowboy, he believes something different.
Yeah.
And we won a lot.
No, I'm gonna keep it real.
Boy.
I ain't going front. Now, like I said, we're in June. It's June 1st. You know what I'm saying? So it might look a lot.
How many moves do you think the Cowboys are going to make? And what moves would you make if you were Jerry?
You said how many moves I think we're going to make?
Mm-hmm.
0. I don't know. I don't. That's why I don't even do free agency talk on my channel because we don't do nothing with it. So,
but if you were to be Jerry, what would be your main concern right now with this team?
My main concern would be this wide receiver core the first 5 to 6 weeks
without Gallup.
Yeah.
How you feeling about Tolbert so far?
I love Jalen Tolbert. Like I said, Jalen Tolbert was one of my favorite prospects coming out of Southern Alabama. Way before the Senior Bowl, I dropped a video on him. Like, if we can get this kid, he's special. So I like him. But like I said, for me to go out there versus Tom Brady, who's not the GOAT in your book, I understand that, right? To play him with CeeDee Lamb, a rookie wide receiver, and a veteran, James Washington, who's unproven, and Noah Brown's kind of just your guy. You know what I mean? Like, that's not enough. Yeah. Anthony Barr is another name out there, but it's
not Barr. Do you think Cox is going to be that guy this year?
Who?
Like, I wanted Cox last year
Jabril
with the
Cox.
Eagles.
I
Yeah.
love Jabril Cox, man. Like, that's why I said why I kind of just because we got a glimpse of it before the injury, and man, there's some Giants fans in the building, but man, he hawked that boy Daniel Jones down like it's like he stole money. You know what I'm saying? So he can definitely fly to the ball. So it's like I like Jabril Cox if he comes back healthy off that injury. I think he's going to be outstanding. So you give me that linebacker core of Micah linebacker, LVE and Jabril Cox that can be special. I saw someone in the chat mention Damone Clark. Damone Clark is a phenomenal talent and a phenomenal steal. I just not sure if he's going to be ready for this year. I think he's going to take a red shirt season. So,
Okay. So let's just break away from Eagles Cowboys right now. How do you
all right.
feel about the rest of the division?
I feel like it's going to be a lot tighter than a lot of people expect. And so I know we've been doing a lot of these collaboration shows and it's Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys, but we kind of been not focusing on the other teams. And I would not be surprised if we're looking at the end of the season and you might see a Washington in the thick of things. I feel like, what they're able to do, get Carson Wentz. He's decent. You guys are familiar with Carson. You know what I'm saying? He's not horrible, but he's decent. He's more than enough. I think he's an upgrade from what they had last year. But also you got to think about what they did by getting their defensive line back, and get Chase Young back, and they were able to add Jahan Dotson, who's one of my favorite prospects, in Washington as well. They got their running game, and I trust Ron Rivera as well. So I think that they're going to be a lot better than what people are giving them credit for. And so I can see, Washington being in the thick of things. And I think what's really going to happen, because I know that is how your schedule is structured, we might see a situation where them stupid Giants mess some things up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they're going to be young and dumb. They still have Saquon. They got, Danny Dimes, someone just mentioned in the chat, Wandale Robinson, so they got
Danny
some
Foos down this channel.
Danny Foos.
Yeah.
And so they got some names out there. A new coach who kind of comes from a winning pedigree. So it might be a situation where it's like Philadelphia and Dallas are tied and we're going to December, and all of a sudden here comes the Giants is slipping us up. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's going to be a lot more competitive. Like, I've never been a person who's like the NFC least, because I feel like when you look at
we're getting the best division before. For one, we're the only division with all champions. One. Just one.
2 playoff teams last year.
I feel like the NFC is like we can mess with each other, being like brothers.
Yeah, man. Someone else. Come on,
guys. You guys, all you guys win a championship before you come talk to us.
Right.
All you guys, because none of you guys done
it is so funny. Like, I'll be interacting with some Eagles fans and stuff. All the content creators back and forth, and then there'll be like a Vikings fan chiming. I'm like, bro, shut up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you're not involved in this conversation.
Yeah. So I feel like it's going to be a lot more competitive. But I feel like the NFC East, they've always had talent. We just do stupid stuff. Y'all know, you'll be perfectly fine. You have a good team who you feels competitive, and all of a sudden it just gets dumb. You know what I'm saying? And it might be your front office, and the same thing with the Cowboys, man. So, yeah, what's up, Professor? Oh, appreciate you, my guy, for tuning in. So, yeah, it's just it's gonna be a lot competitive, but we'll see.
Yeah, man. I think it is gonna come down to us too, though.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, I gotta give the Cowboys respect. Like, I don't feel like they got that much better than last year, but last year was that much better than our team in general. So it's like, of course, the moves we made. I feel like, to be honest, I do think we got the division this year. I'm not going to shy away from it. We got the division this year, I feel. Like, what happens on the field happens on the field. But I feel like we got the division this year. And I'm looking like this is that year, like 16 for us. Carson comes in, we finally got a quarterback. He did all right. Let's see what he does next year.
Right.
Comes next year, on the road to MVP. We end up winning the Super Bowl. I feel like that's kind of like what's going on with Jalen Hurts. Like, Jalen Hurts, he did all right that first year. But this year, and no one's ever seen him. So in terms of like anybody doubting him, I can't be on that boat and doubt him, because I don't ever doubt another man, and for that, for that reason, because he's out there busting his ass with great quarterback scout, coaches. He's out there with receivers busting his ass. So it's like I can't knock his hustle.
Right.
At the same time, and I know that he's way better than he was last year. So, and since nobody's ever seen him in the same system 2 years in a row, I feel like no one really has the credibility, but like he can't do it
Right.
either.
Facts.
So it's like one of them things where it's like my head thinking like watching Jalen in college, watching with the Eagles. Like I feel like the sky's the limit for Jalen Hurts. He can be an MVP candidate next year. It's
Yeah.
possible,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
mean,
or he can
yeah,
be
we just saw the
back where
Bengals
he
in the
was
Super
right
Bowl.
now,
Anything's possible.
alternate. But you know, he had a decent year, but you didn't do nothing. But I just feel like our team overall has gotten that much better. Like
Yeah.
like I said, why make a bucket list and check off all the things on your bucket list, and then still say that you don't think that they can win some football games?
Right.
You know, we always checked off every single box we asked for. We asked for a better receiver. When I got AJ Brown, we asked for a better linebacking core. You got Kaiser Wright, Reddick, N'Kobe Dean. That's three. You know, it's not just about the one; it's about the three you added. You know, we asked for more depth. He got depth on both lines, and the lines is what win football games.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like at the end of the day, it's like, of course I'm going to be sitting here with my chest puffed out, saying that the Eagles are that team to beat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Rightfully so. Like, I mean, I wouldn't respect you as an Eagles fan if you were like, nah, we're not going to do it. So, I mean, right now, everyone's 0-0. I mean, there's Bears fans believe this is going to be their year. Detroit Lions fans, I see them talking like they think they're going to beat you guys week 1. So, like, everyone's optimistic. So,
But
it
the
is what it is.
difference is like you guys always like I hate to say it's cliche a paper champ, but you guys always had the better team going into the year, regardless of what happened that year.
Not
Like you
necessarily.
guys necessarily usually always had the better team going into that year. And this is the first year I feel like Eagles fans can really stand up and be like, hey, we got a legit ass roster. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, right. I can see
legit to be like pump your chest. I tell Eagle fans all the time, next year it's not gonna be the same.
that. You
So
finally
we
got your
need to
Christmas.
pump
Yeah.
our chest this
Yeah.
year to make sure that at least we did it this year. Whether we win the Super Bowl or not, we were here for our team
Right.
and recognizing game in terms of how we did this offseason
Facts.
and making our team better and supporting our quarterback that we want. You know what I'm saying? Like Jalen Hurts, it's up to you if you make it happen, but he definitely made the team good enough for you to make it.
Facts.
But first time guests on my show, man,
All right.
always have me give them their all
Let's do
time
it,
favorite
man.
team.
The wife was giving me the side text, man. I'm like,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. I give them their all time favorite team. So we're gonna
All
do
right.
with you, Jay Tuck. This is gonna be your all time Cowboys team.
All right,
I'm gonna
let's
tell
run
you
it.
position. I'm gonna tell you how many players. And you break fill in the rest. You know who will
Okay.
be your all time starter at quarterback for the Cowboys?
All-time starter at quarterback, Troy Aikman.
Troy Aikman. Who'll be backing them up?
Roger Staubach.
Starback. Okay. 3 running backs.
3 running backs: Emmitt Smith, Tony Dorsett, and can I get a version? Can I get 2016 Ezekiel Elliott? And
2016 Zeke. All right.
rest in peace to Marion the Barbarian Barber, who we lost today.
That is. Salute to you, Marion. Marion was a beast back
Yeah, I
then.
love Marion.
Let's go with tight ends. Give me 2.
Jason Witten, of course, Jay Novacek, and Mike Ditka.
Ooh. Okay.
You can count.
Give me a starting offensive line. No. Yeah. You already said
offensive
running.
line.
Starting
All
offensive line.
So left tackle, Tyron Smith. Guard, you give me Larry Allen. Center, Travis Frederick. Guard, Zach Martin. I'm trying to think of a right tackle because you put Flozell Adams out there or Nate Newton. Even though they play guard, they play little tackle. So I'll go with Nate. I go with nasty Nate Newton. I love nasty Nate. So at right tackle.
I like that. That's a horrendous line. That'd be hard to go against anybody.
Yeah.
Give me defensive line.
Defensive line. So defensive tackles. You got the well, he went to my alma mater, so I got to put Leon Lett in there. Big cat Leon Lett.
That was a beast.
We're just defensive tackles, right? Because Randy Wright really changed the game. A lot of people don't understand that, so I got to put Randy White in there. Though Cowboys fans may probably piss if I don't put Bob Lilly in there. Someone said Eric Williams. I like Big Eric as well, Big E. So Randy White, Leon Lett would be my defensive tackles. And ends, gotta go with Charles Haley, the GOAT.
Haley.
You got Harvey Martin, but you gotta go with Too Tall Jones, man. Ed Too Tall
Jones, right?
Yeah. I gotta go with Too Tall, man.
That was a beast.
This is tough, man. You know what I'm saying? Kind of do it on the spot.
I like it. That's why I do it on the spot.
Right.
Give me your number.
All right.
Names. Give me your 3 linebackers.
Beware, Deware. So I'm gonna count him at linebacker versus edge. Hey, appreciate you, my guy. DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, hell, I could probably put Micah Parsons in there already. Sean Lee, linebacker. And then let's see here. I don't want to count Ken Norton, man, because he's kind of a 49er, so I'm not going to put him out
there. Cap.
Yeah, I can't put him.
Like
I'm tossing the young line. I'm tossing Mike in there, man.
Parsons.
Yeah, Parsons, D-Ware, and Sean Lee.
Sean Lee, I like it. That's good. Let's go secondary.
Secondary, I gotta go. Why the reason I am, and I bleed the way I bleed. Primetime Deion Sanders.
Yeah. But hey, Deion was a Niner too.
Nah, we don't talk about that. Hey,
he was a Falcon and a Niner.
It was different. It was a different
on him for being another team when Deion was a Niner and a Falcon when he was in prime.
It was a different version, man. Different version. So I'm going with Deion Sanders, Mel Renfro, and then cornerbacks, Everson Walls, probably.
Walls, all right.
Yeah.
Safeties.
Yeah, Cole. Yeah, Norton established in the back. He can't be in there. Darren Woodson.
Ooh, I like Darren.
Darren Woodson. I'm doing 2 safeties.
Yep.
2 safeties. I'm not going with Roy. I don't like Roy.
What? You didn't like Roy Williams?
Nah, man. Roy Williams is kind of too stiff for me. Stiff. Cliff Harris, man. I love Cliff Harris. Who was just in the Hall of Fame, I think last year, right? I think he just went to the Hall of Fame, man. But if you ever play Madden Ultimate Team, the Cliff Harris card is a beast. So I would go with Cliff Harris and Darren Woodson.
Okay. Give me kicker and punter.
Kicker, Dan Bailey for sure, man. Life was so much easier as a Cowboys fan with Dan Bailey as kicker. And then punter, man. Shoot, I don't know.
And returner, too.
Returner? But see, that's the thing. Like, the Cowboys never really had that explosive returner. Like, we just never really had that guy.
Deion play here and do it?
Yeah, he did. Like, Deion did punts, kickoff here and there, but he was never just that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I would put Deion back there probably if I had to. Wait a minute. Did we do wide receiver? No, we didn't do the most important position.
Did we skip wide receiver?
Yeah, you skipped the most important because yeah.
My bad. Give me receivers. Give me 4 of them.
All right. So you got to go with my favorite 88, which is Dez Bryant. So
Dez
Bryant's my guy. Got to go with the other 88. You got to go with Michael Irvin. I know we said no 49ers and damn sure no Eagles, but T.O. T.O. And then I know it was like you're not going to include the other 88, Drew Pearson, but I like Bullet Bob Hayes, man.
Over Pearson?
Nah, not over Pearson. So I would have to go with Pearson. Yeah, Pearson, Bryant, Irvin, and T.O. But I love Bullet Bob, man. Bullet Bob was
good.
Yeah, he was good. So, but he only selling 4. So
where we at? Punter?
That's it. Punter, I don't know. Chris Jones, I guess. Yeah, like
Chris Jones. All right.
Yeah.
Returner. We're going with Deion, you said?
Yeah, I'm putting Prime back to the return kicks, man.
Okay. Let's go defensive coordinator. All time.
Bruh. I gotta think. I'm only gonna say Dan Quinn, to be honest with you.
Ooh.
I don't know, man. I don't know defensive coordinator. Because even in those days, like it was really Jimmy kind of over everything when our defense was really thriving. So it's like I'll go with Dan Quinn. I like Dan Quinn, man.
Dan Quinn, offensive coordinator.
Chan Gailey,
Head coach.
Jimmy Johnson.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that Dallas team for sure. They win some football games, man.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, that's a good one, man. I never had to do that kind of on the fly. You know what I'm saying? So
that's why I like doing it on the fly. It's spontaneous.
Yeah. You know, and I know it's not gonna
Yeah.
happen. Like as soon as I get off this, I'm like, no. Like,
you got it on here to receive some hate, my guy.
I can see Cowboys Nation tagging me on Twitter like Tuck didn't say that Drew Pearson was his all-time wide receiver. I'm like, nah, yeah, bro. I'm probably gonna be on the couch here a little bit, so I might jump back on. But yeah, someone's gonna be like, oh, Tuck didn't say he had Drew Pearson in his top 4 wide receivers all time. You know, it's like, I know, but it's cool.
You're gonna be on the couch tonight, bro.
yeah. So you could be. Yeah, I mean, Tom Landry's a defensive coach, so you could do that. Yeah, Tom Landry. He says Zimmer as offensive coach. Wade
Phillips, and
see, and it's hard to think of Wade. It's hard to not think of Wade as just the defensive coordinator Wade versus when he was the head coach Wade, because I hated head coach Wade. So
right.
Yeah.
But hey, man, Tuck, man, thank you so much, man. We've been on this going 2 hours, my guy. It's been a great conversation with you. Let everybody know where else they can find you at, man. My guy. We definitely do some stuff coming up this year.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely link up once we get closer to the game time, week 6. So yeah, man, you guys can find me on all social media platforms at JTuck151. You can follow me on my YouTube channel, CFO Sports. Appreciate all the subscriptions. Like I said, I just don't do Cowboys content, so I do a lot of NFL draft. Be honest with you, I'm already working on next year's draft that's ready, so I'm starting to drop some stuff with some prospects coming up, because it all amounts like you start in April and it all kind of hits you. So I'm gonna start early this season. And then you can find me on 810 WHB Kansas City Radio here in Kansas City. I'm with my guy Darren Smith. We talk NBA, NFL, all of it, man. We have some interesting guests, a lot of Chiefs players. We had some former Cowboys players on. So I'm also live streaming that on the channel now. So they gave me permission to do that. So you can definitely catch that every Sunday morning.
Nice. Hey, man, salute to you, my guy.
Appreciate
Doing big things, man. Thanks. Keep growing, my guy, because, what I'm saying? I watch the content myself. I'm a fan. Even if you're the ops, I am a fan of what you do. It's the
heartbeat, man. This is the heartbeat of the community. And I keep trying to tell people that, a lot of people don't understand the importance of it, because you see other people talk about the Eagles, talk about the Cowboys, but at the end of the day, they don't bleed it like you. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no notes. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no notes. We didn't do no pregame prep, but we were able to have a conversation for 2 hours about our teams, because we bleed it. We bleed it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference between us and others out there. They get notes and all sorts of stuff. We live it, we breathe it.
They have to say what they're, they have it written down what they need to say.
Right.
And we're just straight from the heart, man. We're straight
from the heart. Like
we know
all the draft content I do, and hours and hours and hours of film study, is because I want to help improve my team. Like that's it. That's the main thing that keeps me going and keeps my blood pumping. So, I tell everybody, whether you're an Eagles content creator, Giants, whatever, man, keep up the great work, because I know the sacrifice and the hard work it takes to do it. Like I said, I posted my very first video, and I used to have my kids were upstairs on my live stream watching it. It was like only 2 people watching my first 3-4 live shows. You know what I'm saying? We continue to grow, continue to progress, learn more about the game, and that's what it's all about. So at the end of the day, all together, coming together, we're changing the culture, and people are taking notice. Trust me.
Hell yeah, man. Hey, keep doing what you do over there. We definitely gonna link up again, man. Much love to the 40 still in here. Shout out to you guys, man. Hit that like, subscribe to my boy J Tuck, subscribe to BGN, subscribe to BirdGame31, and like I always said,
I like the second song. I'm voting for the second song.
Fly Eagles fly, and guess what? Since you voted for the second song, that's what we're gonna go out on.
Damn, me and my big mouth.
And much love to you, J Tuck, man. Thanks for coming through, my guy.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Stay safe. Out. Peace.
I told you I'm coming for you. I'm coming through you. Either way, it don't matter.
Welcome to another episode of Bird Gang Nation Sports Talk. I'm your host, Bird Gang 31.
Hey, why they so mad at you? A cock to the distance, no, I'm the raddest dude. Plus the flow is on point and it's tactical. Don't make my goons gon' get after you. Don't feel bad for that dude. Leave him behind. girl, that's what you had to do. Lord, say this is not something for you. This is shit that got me going prehistoric. I'ma beat the people, they been fiending for it. If you see the problems, I can ignore it. I've been in the trenches, I've been bleeding for it. Go nuclear like you can nuke 'em. I rebuke 'em if they attack, then I juke 'em. Fuck 'em like Michael, I spook 'em. Hit 'em with the cage, I got I'ma bring it to the pessimist. Hope you niggas get the message. This is it for the pessimist. Killing demons like an ex of his passive aggressive is over. This shit for the soldiers and all of the warriors. Know that the battle is glorious. Until my whole team